Time now to sit back and enjoy the action. It's Jablonec against Rangers for a place in the Conference League with Stephen Thompson and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Kenny. Welcome to Jablonec in the north of Czechia, where Rangers' European fate hangs in the balance. The sun is beating down on the pitch and indeed the commentary position, though mercifully a few degrees cooler now than a couple of hours ago. Nonetheless, it's going to be hot out there, but that's nothing compared to the heat Rangers would face if they were to tumble out of Europe here this evening. The teams are out on the pitch just now, the two captains going through the handshakes and the exchange of pennants. Dan Neil, of course, the Rangers captain tonight, with Lawrence Shankland on the bench. And notably, actually, I was just wondering if this might happen, the two teams they're swapping ends. And what that means is that the sun will be, to some extent at least, in Ivor Pandur's eyes in this first period. It's still pretty high in the sky, so I imagine that is a tactic that Jablonec have deployed over the years, and will try to do so and put him under a bit of pressure this evening. Rangers all in blue with a white pinstripe down the top. Jablonec in a dark shirt, which is difficult to tell because of the sun whether it's actually black or dark green, but either way it's a lot darker than Rangers. White shorts and dark socks as well. It'll be Rangers to get us underway, shooting from left to right. As I look at it from the commentary position in this little main stand, it's a very small stadium, 5,000. Across to my left-hand side, behind the goal, defended by Ivor Pandur, and it's a beautiful setting, actually, really scenic. As we do get underway here, and Rangers immediately lead. But yeah, very picturesque, I would have to say, and a good atmosphere. The home fans, as usual, the visiting fans doing their bit as Sterling gets onto a Yokota pass, comes back to Yokota right hand side, swings it into the box, a good ball, Naderi gets up there, tricky one for the keeper, but it's onto the roof of the net. But a chance for Rangers in the opening 30 seconds. Now, of course, my colleague Stephen Thompson is in their Glasgow studio, so we're hoping there's not too much of a delay here. But Stephen, I assume you'll have had a chance to see, but a decent early opening for Rangers there.
Yeah, it was. There's quite a wee delay, and the strip is dark green for your information. I know you've got the sun in your eyes. But yeah, it was a good ball in from Yokota, and Fernandez rising well, but couldn't keep the header under the bar, looked about a metre or two over the bar.
Yep, so Jablonec have a throw in here down beneath us on the near side there, left-hand side, right in front of Derek McInnes, who's out there trying to ensure that his players follow their instructions. Sterling clears up towards the halfway line. It's going to be picked up there in the middle of the park by Suchan, and then back to Slama, the left back, who had a good game, I thought, at Ibrox, coming down that left. There's a few issues. It's Jablonec, the Czech side, midway inside their own half, building through Pavlovic, centre back, just rolls it back to his keeper Hanush, and then out to the right hand side, Sedila, the right fullback, back to Hanush once more. You can hear the home fans either side of me trying to make as Gassama picks up left hand side, and the little bit of the pitch that is shaded by the small stand across on the far side. Forward comes Penrice, looking to continue his good form since joining Rangers on that left-hand side. A throw-in, former Hearts man, and he's preparing to take this now. About 15 yards from the corner flag, he gets it back from Neil, and he tries to get to the byline, cuts back, then spins once more, almost down at that corner flag, still keeping possession. Then he rolls it back to Neil once more. He'll go all the way back to the halfway line now to Macania, who keeps his place despite the return to fitness of Ben Godfrey, who's back in the bench. It's lost in the midfield almost by Dragicevic, but Fernandez helps him out and just turns the ball back to the Croatian goalkeeper Pandur, who kept his first clean sheet of the season in the first leg. And if he can do that again tonight, then he will know that his team will be safely through. Good ball forward, but Sterling's offside, unfortunately, as he took it down on the chest. It was Fernandes who clipped it forward, but Fernandes stopped by the assistant's flag. And it will be a free kick to the home side. Stephen, what have you made of the opening exchanges?
Yeah, obviously only 3 minutes in, Alistair, but you know, a lot of the Rangers players getting a touch of the ball, which is always good when you're away from home. Most of the possession's been in a blue shirt so far, and obviously no threat really from Jablonec. So Rangers will be reasonably happy with the quick start, or the start that they've made to the match so far.
Pavlovic playing it forward, but all the way through to Pandur in the Rangers goal, all in lilac tonight. The goalkeeper, as he plays it out short to Macania at the edge of his penalty area, gets it back once more, and then Neil. I was wondering earlier on if the grass was maybe a little touch long on that pitch, but it's moving about reasonably well at the moment as Nadiri touches it back to Jokota and then back to Neil just outside his own penalty area, just drops the shoulder as he tries to release himself from the clutches of his marker, who was pulling his jersey, and he's penalised actually, Nabila, by the referee, and Rangers get a free kick, which is taken quickly. 0-0 with 4.5 minutes played here in the north of the Czech Republic. Just over an hour's drive from Prague. A beautiful old city, as Pandur comes under a little bit of pressure there from Jawo, but gets it clear. Comes back towards the Rangers penalty area, and Macania doing just enough to force it to Sterling here. Again, just outside the box, rolls it forward to Dragicevic. Dragicevic right hand side, has to check back the way, gives it to Sterling, and then back to the edge of the box to Fernandes. Again, always looking very nonchalant, clips that one out to the left hand side, looks for the run of Gassama, but good defending there by Sedidla to dive and head it back to his goalkeeper, and applauded by the home fans here. You can hear a section of them away to our left with a continuous chanting, trying to get behind their side. It would be a monumental achievement for them to get into the Conference League, as Fernandes has a little look and then he's clipped Jawo, but the assistant's flag is up on the far side, and it rather rescues Rangers, because again he just looked a little bit late to try and get back and track the run, but in fairness to him, he might have known that he was holding a good line and that Jawo was going to be offside, but a warning nonetheless for Rangers. Still 0-0 then, 1-0 to Rangers from the opening leg, as Nadiri chases a long ball, not particularly well defended in the first instance by Teki Yaskits. Nadiri gets a touch on it, puts it into the box, but there's absolutely no one up alongside of him. Jokota was the only one getting close to the box, and Rangers will have to do better than that in terms of getting bodies to support the lone striker of Nadiri. Chukwani's playing the more advanced of the three midfielders, but he was nowhere to be seen either, and so the opportunity disappears, and Jablonec will try and play forward here down the left hand side. Foul by Fernandes is penalised by the referee just on the halfway line, left hand side. 6.5 on the clock, as Slama just rolls it back to Pavlovic, and now Teki Yaski, the captain, Serbian, back to Pavlovic, his countryman, and now into the midfield it comes. Jawo's dropped off the front and picks up possession and sends it out to the left hand side. It's Polydar, he'll get there ahead of Sterling, sends a low ball in, and Rangers just managed to scramble it clear. Came off Macania first, and then Fernandes launched it forward, but that could easily have fallen to a home player. So Rangers don't want to be giving this side too much encouragement in the opening stages, as Polydar comes forward again, matched by Sterling on that occasion, and out for a throw-in to the home side. Down near the corner flag though, just a few yards from it, on the left flank, and an opportunity again for Jablonec to try and threaten Rangers. Polydar rolls it back to Slama, swings it into the box. Good defensive header by Fernandes on that occasion. 1-0 by Polydar ahead of Jokota, and then back into the midfield for Sedlacek. Forward they come once more down the right-hand side. It's Sedidla. Penrice trying to stick with him, trying to get the boot in, but Sedidla showing good strength. Out for a throw-in on the far side. Jablonec will be pretty content by the way they've started the game. We've got a throw-in pretty much in line with the 18-yard box on that right-hand side. The referee counting them down as they try and launch it into the penalty area. It's flicked on, but that should bounce behind of Penrice, and the score after 8.5 minutes is Jablonec 0, Rangers 0.
I'll tell you what, Al, it was some chance for Suchan just a few minutes ago when Jabo dropped deep, kind of uncontested. Too easy for Jabo to take the ball in the middle of the pitch, dropping off the centre-half, taking a touch, turning it, flicking it out wide to Polydar. Flashed it across the face of goal, and Suchan has completely fluffed his lines. That was a really big opportunity.
Stephen Thompson there, former Rangers striker, with his thoughts, with Rangers still leading by a 1-0. And Jablonec getting the first real opportunity of the game as the ball goes back to their goalkeeper and then out to their captain Tekiyaski. Forward for Polydar, tries to get the flick on for Jawo. He won't keep that one in, but Rangers not started badly as such, but they're certainly not putting Jablonec under a great deal of pressure in these opening stages as Dujon Sterling prepares to take the throw in. Again being counted down by the Serbian referee. Forward towards Naderi, can't get there. Pavlovic heads it over the halfway line. It'll be picked up by Suchan, and then Chanarishvili spins away and he's fouled there by Dan Neil. And home fans not happy about that. The referee wants a word with the Rangers captain because it'll be a free kick inside the centre circle. But Neil getting a talking to for that challenge. And the free kick will go to Jablonec, and they're going to throw a lot of bodies forward here. It's just a couple of yards inside the Rangers half, but back comes Chanarishvili. It looks like he's the man who's going to take charge of this situation. You heard Derek McInnes say pre-match he was impressed by some of their set-piece taking. Actually, Chanarishvili leaves it to Slama. Into the box it comes. Takarishvili wins it, but away by Chukwani, and the offside flag is up in any case. So Rangers get the free kick just at the edge of the penalty area. Stephen Thompson, what would you like to see more of from Rangers, having watched the opening 10 minutes?
Well, it seems like they're quite content just to sit in their shape, and out of possession, Daniel's dropping deep almost in between the two centre halves to make it a 3. They're getting bodies behind the ball, but you know, Derek McInnes spoke before the game about trying to go and win the match. We've not really seen that so far in the game. It's not been evident. The one thing that I would say is when the ball did get played forward a couple of minutes ago to Naderi, you're right, it was so isolated, and the last thing you want to see is your centre forward, your only centre forward on the pitch, being the one that's crossing the ball into the box, and there's nobody there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely spot on. McInnes, not only just pre-match in that interview I did with him, but yesterday in the news conference was underlining how much he wanted to go out and win the game and not just try and sit in and defend the 1-goal advantage they have from the first leg, but that's kind of how it looks in the opening 11.5 minutes here. Goalless in the Czech Republic between Jablonec and Rangers. Got some other big games to come in Europe this evening for Scottish clubs. We try and get as many through to the league stage as possible. Live commentary coming up from Easter Road after this one as Macania sends it back to Pandur. First time left-footed up towards the halfway line. Chukwani tries to chest it down, can't find a teammate though, and Suchan picks up, and then Tekiyaski just plays it square to Pavlovic, and now Slama on the left-hand side, closed down by Jokita. Derek McInnes still at the edge of his technical area, just in the long sleeve shirt, but he'll be feeling the heat even in that. 23 degrees at kick-off, and Slama turns it back to his captain Tekiyaski. Naderi tries to get close to him, but Tekiyaski continues up towards the halfway line, and he spins away from both Kusama and Naderi. Shouldn't be allowed to do that, and here they come. It's Suchan, and it's doing, it's a big chance, and it's wide, and there's no flag, and that is a huge opportunity for Jawo. And he really should have been putting that in the back of the net and then asking questions about the flag later. And it remains after 12, almost 13 minutes. Jablonec 0, Rangers 0.
It's an absolute sitter, Alistair. It really should be 1-0. It was great play by Tiki-Yaski in the middle of the park, but you're right, all too easy as he spun away from the Rangers midfielders. A lovely wee through ball from Suchan to Jawo. He's got to hit the target. I mean, he tries to go near side. For me, go across the keeper. I don't know why he's tried to go that near post, but it is a terrible, terrible finish. Rangers, that was a huge opportunity. The one earlier on for Suchan's a good opportunity. They're living dangerously.
Yes, they are. But still 0-0 on the night. 1-0 to Rangers in the tie. But the ease with which they were able to play through the Rangers team there, right through the very centre of it, would be alarming, you'd imagine, for the manager. But still goalless. Not sure if Jawo ultimately would have been offside, but certainly the flag didn't come after he sent it wide. There's Sterling just knocking the ball out of play. Derek McInnes can't be happy down there with his side's dominance, the opposition's dominance, that is, in the early stages. Here's the throw-in taken. Slammer's giving it straight to Nadiri though, and he knocks it forward to Chukwani. Chukwani now down the right-hand side. Very little support. Tries to turn back the way, just rather stumbles on the ball, knocks it out of play, and Rangers definitely need better than that. The referee has stopped play here. Yeah, he's just wanting the throw-in taken again. I wonder if he'll be any more strict on the foul throws than his colleague last week was, because pretty much every single Jablonec throw-in was a foul throw but wasn't penalised. But let's see. Almost quarter of an hour gone. Goalless in Jablonec in the north of Czechia. But certainly the home side making the early running here. As the sun still very high in the sky and casting long shadows in the floodlights here. Nice little compact ground. Jablonec coming forward once again. Slid in by Nabila but given away, and Penrice will pick up. Gassama quickly closed down, squeezes it through, but only two. And Nabila in the middle of the park, and then Rangers get it forward once more, and Nadiri turns it back out to the left-hand side for Gassama to stride forward, slips it onto, or looking for Penrice at least, but it gave him too much to do, and Teki-Yaski is able to step in and knock it out of play eventually, as Rangers try to make some inroads. Paul Sheeran now out alongside Derek McInnes there, just discussing how things have been going in the opening stages here, and wondering how maybe to try and get more of a hold of the game, as Penrice plays it infield to Chukwani, left-hand side, back out to Penrice. Not a bad-looking ball, but sliding in there went Chanarishvili to knock it out of play down near the corner flag. Over in the far side, which the Rangers left. Throw-in taken back to Neil, about 30 yards from the goal line. He goes further back to Macania. Macania steps away from Jawo, who's missed that big opportunity. Back with Neil once more, and then back to Macania. I think he's going to turn all the way back to his goalkeeper again. Indeed he is, just outside his penalty area, as Jablonec force Rangers back. There's Neil closed down, and Macania turns and gets it back to Neil. Good composure from the South African, and then Neil plays it into the middle of the park. Not sure exactly who he's looking for there, but he's given it straight to Slama for Jablonec, who just returns the favour, and it's Neil finding Gassama this time, and he's hacked to the ground, and that's going to be a yellow card. That was a poor challenge from Sid Idla. The first yellow card of the game, as Rangers look to try and break forward through Gassama, and 17 minutes in, it's a Rangers free kick about 20 yards inside the Jablonec half, and it's an opportunity here to throw Macania and, I was going to say Macania and Fernandes forward, but actually they both stayed back and they played the free kick square. Not sure what the thinking behind that is, but here's Yokota just trying to get better of his man and runs it out of play. I really don't understand the thinking behind that, the taking of that free kick, Stephen Thompson.
No, I don't either, Alistair Lamont. I think it was an opportunity, as you rightly point out, to get the bigger players up. It's not as if you were hoofing it from the halfway line. It was on a decent angle just to float one up in and around the penalty spot, and yeah, maybe Derek said to him before the match, you know, don't want to be leaving numbers short at the back, so just play it safe.
Yeah, almost 18 minutes on the clock. It's Jablonec 0, Rangers 0 on the night. 1-0 Rangers from the first leg. But I think, as Andy Halliday was saying, you do feel that Rangers need to score in this game to progress, as there's a handball given that the referee spotted. It's in Rangers' favour, right on the halfway line. Let's see if they do anything different with this free kick. No, just taking that one short as well. Fernandez to Penrice and out to the left to Gassama. Tries to get the better of Sadidla, who is on a yellow card, and Gassama can hopefully try and exploit that, give him something to think about as the course of the game continues. Throw in left-hand side then for Penrice to take. Midway inside the Czech half. Well defended up to Suchan, but Neil steps across him and then goes down. The referee says free kick, which looked like the correct decision, even though it was over on the far side, the far touchline. Just 3 stands actually in this stadium. Behind the goal of Jan Hanush is completely empty, basically, and that's why we can see the mountains off on the far side. Very pretty it is too, the Yested mountain, if you're interested, topped by a TV tower. Looking very pretty as the sun begins to set. Forward comes Macania down the left channel. Out to Penrice it goes. Penrice into the penalty area. Chukwani goes up and rises and gets the header on target. Keeper saves pretty comfortably and immediately bowls it out to Jawo. But not a bad move that from Rangers. Chukwani really couldn't do much more than he did. There's a good challenge from Sterling to win it from Jawo. Referee rightly saying, yeah, you took the ball, play on. Jawo stayed down. Maybe Sterling stood on his hand after he'd made the challenge, but that would be completely accidental and certainly not punishable, as Rangers have possession. They've slowed it down though, rather than try and break forwards, and it's Dan Neil in the centre of the park. We'll come to Stephen on that Rangers half chance in just a moment, as Macania goes down the left hand side. Gives it straight though to Sadidla. Not a good pass, but again Jablonec's giving it straight back to Rangers. I think really underlining what the guys have been saying over the first leg and indeed prior to tonight's match. This team are not a top quality outfit, as Nadiri with a good touch in the edge of the box, and then Gassama tries to latch on to it. It's a good challenge to get back there, as Chukwani almost was able to capitalise on the knockdown, and there's a foul on Fernandez, and the referee's going to stop play for that, but also for treatment at the other end, which allows me on 20.5 minutes for the scoreline at 0-0 to go back to Stephen on that half chance, would you say, for Chukwani with the header, Stephen?
Yeah, it's a difficult header, isn't it? Macania does well to drive the space, releases Penrice down the left. He's got such good delivery, Penrice on that left-hand side, put it right into the middle of the box, and Chukwani had kind of made a late run into the box, but it's almost behind him as it's floated in, and he does well to get it on target. Probably just didn't get enough power on it. It was one of those kind of loopy ones, but a really difficult header for him, like round about the penalty spot. And then just after that, then a Derry one that you were talking about, nice wee layoff, but Chukwani couldn't quite get up. And that's the problem as well when you're sitting a slightly deeper and you are playing longer balls up to Naderi. Chukwani's got to take off really early to get up and support, because it's a long distance to cover.
Yeah, still 0-0 then. 21.5 minutes on the clock. Dragicevic was fouled there. The referee let it go and didn't quite come to anything in the end, as Rangers again can't keep possession in an attacking phase, and forward comes Tekiaski from the back with the armband for Jablonec, looking for Jawo but out of play. And yeah, just to go back to what I was saying, you know, if Rangers do go out to this side, it would go down as an embarrassing result, because from what we've seen, they really are not a European side that should be capable of eliminating Rangers. But Rangers still have the job to do and have to show that they merit progress to the league stage of this third tier competition, which is not where they want to be either, but they'll have to settle for it, as Chukwani loses out to Suchan. Felt he was being dragged to the ground, but the referee says up you get. Midway point of the first half, no goals on the night. Rangers leading by 1-0. Ryan Nadiri in the first leg with the only goal of the tie so far, as Slam on the left back picks up right in the flank, closed down by Jokita. Oh, that's difficult, and Neil could be in here. Neil finds Naderi at the edge of the box. Naderi laying it off for Jokita, not a great layoff. Jokita goes down, the referee says free kick to Rangers, about 25 yards from goal. I think he's a little bit fortunate to get that, perhaps, but it does give Rangers a decent opportunity here from the free kick, very central area, about 25 yards from goal. But Naderi's layoff wasn't all that good at all. But Jokita buys the free kick, and Rangers have a good chance here, Stephen.
Yeah, it was just so slack from Jablonec. I mean, they've been giving the ball away pretty much for the opening 23 minutes, and Daniel picked it up, played it into Naderi. His layoff, as you rightly point out, was poor, forcing Jokita back the way almost from the goal. But clumsy defending as they come through the back of Jokita, and it now gives Rangers a really, really good opportunity here for a direct free kick. Probably, what do you reckon, 24-5 yards out?
Yeah, it looks like that to me. James Penrice standing over it. Could be the left foot of him. I think Dragicevic might fancy it as well with the right foot. We've seen him try his luck from range a few times to good effect against St Mirren with that fine goal. It could be him with the right foot. Let's see who strikes it for Rangers. It's going to be Penrice. It's off the top of the wall. Disappointing. And it's going to come back to McCann, who heads it forward once more. Jablonec try and scramble it away. Rangers trying to keep the pressure on, but it's going to be come out of play here on the near side. I think Jablonec want a bit of treatment to the man who blocked it in the wall, who was Sedidla, but he's back up on his feet and he's fine. And Rangers, we've just had a better 5-10 minutes or so after a little bit of a shaky opening period to the game, but probably enjoying their best spell at the moment as we approach the 25-minute mark. Still no goals on the night, and still that one goal advantage then from the first leg as Neil touches it into Gassama, tries to lose his marker but loses out in a battle of strength there with Sedidla, but he's given it away, but Neil can't then keep it, and Chanarishvili comes inside. The little Georgian clips it out to the left for Slama, now able to come forward. He likes to get forward the left back, swings it into the near post. Macania though with a good touch, and he's able to bring it clear and find Chukwani, who then helps it out to the left hand side for Penrice to advance up towards Gassama now, just into the Jablonec half. Tries to switch play once again to Jokita now on the right hand side. Good first touch from the Japanese. Onto the left foot it goes, swings it in towards the back post, too close to the keeper as he tried to find Naderi at the back post, but good take from Hanush, and the chance is gone. But again, better play from Rangers, just lacking that final ball or finishing touch just at the moment. 26 almost on the clock, no goals here in the Czech Republic, just about 10 or 15 miles away from the border of Poland, and not too much more than that from the German southern border either. As Suchan picks up for Jablonec, plays it out to the right hand side for Chanarishvili, able to advance here up towards the penalty area. Cross comes off Penrice, might break for Jokita, who can't really deal with it, gets a second bite at it, still can't get it clear, falls back to Slama. Derek McInnes a little bit frustrated down there that Rangers couldn't clear the lines, and it comes back to Tekiyaski just inside the Rangers half. Out to Sedidla, right hand side. Plays it forward for Chanarishvili once again. Forward they come, the home side, looking for that equalising goal in the tide. Near post ball, Pandur punches clear. It's a good, brave punch there. He's near post under a bit of pressure, and he finds Gassama over on that left hand side, and then up Penrice plays it forward. Chukwani can't keep a hold of it, and Jablonec again will try and push forward into the heart of the midfield from Sedlacek, and a bit of space here opening up on the left. Tekiyaski advances out to Slama on that left hand side. Polydar now almost at the corner flag, comes back to Slama. Jokita can't get close enough to him. The header comes in, it's a comfortable save for Pandur as Yawo got his head to it. But again, it's a warning for Rangers. Again, it was all too easy for them to get the ball into Jawo, and a better header might have troubled the goalkeeper. But after 27.5 minutes, it's Jablonec 0, Rangers 0.
It was patient play from Jablonec on that occasion, working the ball from the right-hand side out to the left-hand side. The delivery in is decent enough, but Probably the question I would be is how's Jabo be able to get a free header in there without being marked? And you can see Fernandez and McCann saying to each other, right, who is meant to be picking him up? It's a difficult header for him.
There's a chance for the home side, sorry Stephen, to cut across you, but there was a big opportunity there as Jabo got the flick on at the near post, but Rangers just managed to clear their lines as Jablonec come once more looking to get themselves level in the tie. It's a really awkward ball to deal with, and Jabo's flick at the near post caused some problems, but Rangers survive. But again, just as I was saying, Rangers enjoying their best spell of the game. Jablonec have just lifted it once more and looked threatening in the last couple of minutes. Just approaching the half hour now. No goals in the night as Slama picks up and clips it forward. Jabo tries to dummy it and then get the better of Fernandez. Fernandez judges it well, and then eventually goes down and is pulled back by Jabo, and it will be a Rangers free kick deep inside their own territory. But the game is rather ebbing and flowing here in the Czech Republic, both sides having periods of ascendancy, and just in the last few minutes it's definitely the home side whose fans aren't happy that Rangers are taking their time over this free kick. Fernandez leaving it now to Pandur to take, and he eventually launches it right-footed over the halfway line. Chukwani tries to chest it down, he gets the break of the ball and tries to come forward. It's all very congested and no real cohesion in there from Rangers. They cannot find a few passes to try and break through Jablonec's defence, and in fact it's the home side coming forward once again. Polydar won't get there ahead of McCann, who's just trying to shepherd it out here. He's taken a chance and he's lost it on the byline as the Georgian swings it into the back post. Chanarishvili was just too much on the cross. McCann caught out there trying to see it out of play, and he was almost punished but not quite. And after half an hour it's Jablonec 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, I don't know, McCann giving himself 10 yards there to try and usher the ball out for a goal kick, and the pitch is slow, as you rightly pointed out, and dry. It was never really going to get there, and eventually I think it was Polydar manages to get a wee toe in, and then Rangers lucky to escape with a flash ball across the face. Yeah, the last 10 minutes you'd have to say it's been all Jablonec.
Sterling getting it forward to Chukwani, who again can't hold it up. He's really got to do better in the midfield there to try and give Rangers something going forward, but it's quite the opposite at the moment. Chanarishvili's out on the left hand side here, keeping the ball in, up against Sterling, rolls it back here for Slama, manages to get it cleared as Dragojevic, but Rangers been hemmed in just at the moment, and the home fans sense there might be something on here for their side as Teki Yaski steps forward and plays it out to the right hand side for Sedidla. Back he comes to Sedlacek, and then he rolls it into Pavlovic just at the edge of the centre circle inside Rangers half. Plenty of room out on the left hand side here for Chanarishvili, up against Sterling, clips it in, not a bad ball, away by Fernandez initially. Again Chukwani can't hold it in, but helped out by Dragojevic, who just stumps it forward and allows Rangers to get up the park. But I mean, Chukwani, certainly we watched him at St Mirren. He had I would say probably the best game I've seen him play in a Rangers jersey. It wasn't terrible last weekend, but last Thursday I should say, but he hasn't offered enough tonight as that midfielder trying to get closest to Ryan Nadiri, and it still remains goalless with about 13 and a half minutes left in the opening period here. Teki Yaski has it at the back, Serbian out to the left hand side where Slama picks up. Rangers not really getting close enough to their opponents, and Polydar swings it in, and it's McCann who just has to swipe it out of play on this near side for a throw in. About 15 yards from the corner flag. Slama's going to come forward and take this one. Referee says you've got 5 seconds to get it in, and he's taken it. Nutmeg on Yokota, and then a little pullback, was it, from the Japanese referee? Says no. I think Slama could easily have just shrugged that off regardless of how much contact there was, as Dragojevic then just gives the ball away, much to the disgust of his manager down there. But I think that was a real chance for Slama to get beyond Yokota, and he just kind of gave it up, Stephen.
Yeah, it was, it was pointless from him. I think he's thinking he's bought the foul. I mean, the contact from Yokota was minimal, really. He didn't think he had a grab at his shirt anyway, and the referee's only 15 yards away. He's in a good position. If he'd kept going, he'd be past Jokita and bearing down on the Rangers box. So a poor decision from him.
Yeah, it seemed to be 0-0 then. It continues to be on the night. Rangers leading by 1-0, but far from comfortable in this tie, with Jablonec having had the better of the majority of this first half. Slid forward there by Tekiyaski into Sedlacek. Forward it goes to Javo, and then Makanya getting that back to Pandur, who clears onto the roof of this main stand here. And it will be a throw-in to Jablonec, down again near the corner flag, and an opportunity to throw the centre-backs forward. As they take the throw-in short to Chanarishvili. Can't quite link with Polydar. Chukwani's lost it again, left-hand side, and Rangers just managed to get it clear. Sent Naderi and Dragijevic having to help out there, but they can't keep the ball for any concerted period, and that just means that Jablonec are able to build attack after attack, and as much as they haven't looked all that ruthless or clinical in front of goal, you keep giving them chances. You feel that eventually one of them will be taken, and that could cause Rangers all sorts of problems. As Tekiyaski picks the ball up in the middle of the park and flights out to this left-hand side, where again Slama's in so much room. Jokita can't get near him. Ball into the near post, turned behind by Dujon Sterling. And Jablonec get the corner. Jablonec 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, Rangers have been really sloppy in terms of their possession and keeping a hold of the ball. The one thing you want to do when you're away from home is make sure your ball retention's good, but really poor in possession and out of possession. You're right, the amount of crosses that have come into the Rangers box will really disappoint Derek McInnes. Loads, especially down that left-hand side.
Corner kick then on the left. Slama to take. It's going to be the outswinger with the left foot, and it comes to the back post. Up goes Fernandez, gets something on it. Out of the box it comes. Chanarishvili helping it back out to Slama on this left-hand side. Tries to get the cross back in, but Jokita blocks that one. Still 0-0 with 10 to play in the first half. Throw-in taken on the left-hand side. Jablonec on top, but still behind in the tie. Chanarishvili about 30 yards from goal, looking for options. Central area, played out to Sedlacek, left-hand side. Forward for Tekiyaski, who'd stayed up from the corner, and he's still staying up there as it goes out for a throw-in. As Gassama's looking at Derek McInnes, asking him what he wants him to do exactly. But here's Chanarishvili stepping away from Gassama very, very easily, you'd have to say. Georgian out to the left-hand side to Slama once more. Rangers, everyone back behind the ball at the moment. It's on the halfway line. As Jablonec toy with Rangers. Can they get the goal that brings them level in the tie? Or can Rangers try and get a foothold in this game? Polydar into the penalty area he goes, tries to poke it towards goal. He couldn't get the purchase on it really, and it doesn't trouble Pandur. He has to go down and make a pretty routine save. 36 on the clock. Jablonec 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it's just another example of Jablonec's growing in confidence as the game goes on. I mean, he drives into the box well, and in the end he's almost toe poking it towards goal, but Rangers are so deep and camped in that they cannot get up the pitch, and because the quality on the ball is so poor, they can't build up the pitch either. Basically the two wide players, Jokita and Gassama, have been invisible in the match so far in terms of contributions going forward. It's been pretty poor stuff. Yeah,
I mean, I mentioned that's a Mirren game. It's the only one I've seen Rangers play where they've approached anything that you would say represents a decent standard so far this season. Derek McInnes making a point that they're still trying to blend in a number of new players, but I guess crucially they need to win games. They've won their last two. They need to get through this tie, reputationally probably more than financially, as the ball goes out to Makanya, left-hand side, deep inside his own half, looking for options. Clips it down the left flank, straight out of play. And Jedi Gassama waves the arms in the air, saying, well, I need better quality balls than that in to my feet if I'm to make anything of it. As Jablonec again almost gave it away, but still the ball seems to find Suchan. And forward they come once more. It's Polydar on the left-hand side, up against Sterling, but 25 yards from goal. Comes back to Sedlacek, closed down by Chukwani, but they always seem to have a spare man. In this case, it's Tekiyaski coming forward from the back. just leaves it for Channel-East-Villey. Patient build up here on this occasion from Jablonec with almost 38 played. 0-0 on the night as Slama tries to link with Polidar, but cross comes Dragijevic, tries to feed it forward, comes off a home player and out for a throw-in, and Rangers can get themselves up the park, but Derek McInnes needs to get them in at half-time, hopefully with the scoreline no worse than it is right now, and really do a bit of sorting out, because as Stephen said, Derek McInnes wanted them to come out and win this game, and they haven't remotely looked like that. And the referee's given the throw-in now to Jablonec. Dujon Sterling taking too long, and that rather sums up Rangers' pretty pitiful evening so far, albeit they're still ahead in the tie, and we can't lose sight of that, because that is the most important thing ultimately. But the Rangers fans who have made this journey away across their left-hand side will surely want to see a better standard of performance from their side, as the ball is back in the possession of Jan Hanush. The first leg defeat for Jablonec ended a run of 6 straight wins, which came after their only other defeat, which was away to Varaždin of Croatia in the first leg of their second round qualifier, but they came through that on aggregate and then beat RFS of Latvia in the previous round. And they've won all 3 of their games so far in the Czech League as well, so they are in decent form, you'd have to say, as the referee awards Rangers the throw-in over on the far side. Just about 5.5 minutes left as the home fans rouse themselves and try and rouse their team once more. Penrice has again taken too long with the throw-in, and actually it might not be because he's taken too long. I think he's advanced too far, the referee's saying this time, and he's certainly awarded the throw-in to Jablonec over on the far side, and Rangers can ill afford to give up such easy possession. 5 to play in this first period, plus any added on time. Jablonec and Rangers are goalless for the moment. Jablonec have had the better opportunities as Penrice launches one forward. Nadiri will chase, but I don't think there's any chance he's going to get latch onto that, and it's headed back to the goalkeeper in any case by Pavlovic. He'll then bring it out from the back and play it out to Slama, left-hand side. Mercifully, there's a bit of cloud cover now for the sun, which has lost a bit of its heat. Dan Neil picking up possession out to the left-hand side to Gassama, up against Sedidla, who is in a booking. Can he try and take him on here? Down that left-hand side he goes, almost at the byline, but checks back once more, and then Penrice, first time ball in, can't beat Sedlacek, but it will come for Gassama, who thought about a quick shot at goal there. Instead he passes it out to the right hand side for Jokita, claimed for a handball, nothing given. Jokita, can Rangers find themselves a goal here to really ease the pressure? He goes back to Sterling. Sterling digs it in to the back post, no Rangers player attacking it, and it's easily defended by the home side. Comes back to Macania, but 20 yards inside the Jablonec half, back out to Jokita. Rangers really need a spell here on the front foot before half-time. 41 on the clock, no goals on the night, as Neil sends it back out to Penrice, far side. Couple of touches, then swings it in. Derry can't get there. High up in the air from Tekiyaski. Then Sedidla will try and complete the clearance. He's closed down by Chukwani, who's fouled him. And it'll be a free kick to Jablonec inside their own half. 41 and a half played. Jablonec nil, Rangers nil.
Rangers eventually managing to get up the pitch. It feels like it's been 20 odd minutes since they were last up in with any kind of concerted pressure, and Jablonec's his final third, but it's kind of just hopeful balls into the box, really, isn't it? There's without much imagination behind it. It's been not what I think Rangers supporters would have wanted from their team in this first half, or their manager Derek McInnes, and I'd imagine there'll be some words at half time, because if you were playing against a better team right now, then Rangers would be losing this match.
That's for sure. Was Janusz takes the free kick, long it goes. Macania wins that above Javo, who passed up the best opportunity of the match so far. Gassama and Sedidla tangling over there on the far side, and it's Gassama who's been penalised on this occasion. The referee having a word with him. Really just seemed to be a tangle and nothing much more, but Jablonec get the decision. Free kick taken over on the right hand side to Channel-East-Villey. 2.5 minutes left for Jablonec to try and find a first half goal. It's clipped through by Suchan, who immediately knew he'd put too much in the pass there for Chanarishvili when he picked up a nice little pocket of space at the edge of the box, and it should have been a better ball for the Georgian winger, but unfortunately for Suchan, he couldn't find it, and behind for a Rangers goal kick. So a couple of minutes until the interval. Don't think there'll be too much, if any, added on time at the end here, as Pandur is given the 5-second signal to take this goal kick, which he duly does over the halfway line up towards Chukwani. Gets the flick on, Naderi tries to bring it down, but Takayeski takes it off his toes and plays it forward. Jawo will go and chase that. He's kind of semi-blocked off by McCanya, allowing Penrice to comfortably get it back to Pandur, who takes a touch and then from the edge of his 6-yard box flies up to Jokita, down for Dragojevic, and back to Sterling. Sterling looking for options. He's saying, where am I going to play it here? He goes down the right hand side and Nadiri makes the run. He's nudged in the back and he can't keep it in as a result of that. Thought he'd got the better there of Pavlovic, but it'd gone out of play, and it will be a throw-in down deep in Jablonec territory, down near their own corner flag on the left hand side, with the scoreline still blank on the night, and Rangers still winning by a 1-0 on aggregate. Fired forward, but that's going to bounce out of play before Jawo can get onto it, and it will be a throw-in to Rangers on the halfway line. Inside the final minute of the first half, Sterling again told to get on with it. Takes the throw-in, down the right it goes, and out of play once more off the head of Slama. And shortly we'll get the views of the other guys in the studio, as well as Stephen, as to how Rangers can improve this performance to see them over the line. A bit of confusion here about getting a ball back on before Sterling can take the throw-in. Sterling says, well, what can I do if there's no balls available? Eventually throws it into Jokita, who's going to go all the way back from pretty much midway inside Jablonec half to Pandur, as Rangers more or less try and run down the clock in this first half. McCanya, who has possession here, then Penrice for Neil. McCanya once more, and then plays it down the left hand side, looking for Chukwani. Again, can't bring it down. There's the referee's half-time whistle, though. Well, it brings to an end a goalless first half, but a first half in which Jablonec looked the side likelier to open the scoring. There was an early chance for Jan Suchan, who just couldn't make contact as the ball came in from the left-hand side. But the real glaring opportunity came on 13 minutes as Jawo was played through on goal, and with the goal gaping, basically, he slid the ball wide of Pandur's post, much to Rangers' relief. Rangers' only real effort on goal of any note whatsoever was a Chukwani header, which was really lacking in power, and comfortably saved by Hanush. That was after 20 minutes. Jawo had a header saved on 28. There haven't been really any amazing chances beyond that Jawo one, but Rangers breathing a sigh of relief that Jablonec haven't been able to get the equaliser in the tie, because at half-time here it remains Jablonec 0, Rangers 0.
Rangers in the Conference League playoff round.
What a strike that is!
Live on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Half-time there in the first of our matches tonight. It was a 5 o'clock kick-off, just about to get underway in Germany. Freiburg against Motherwell. That's a 5:45 start. Jane Lewis is there for us. We heard the team news from Jane earlier. We heard from Alfred Johansson. We'll bring you regular updates from that one. And our second commentary of the evening comes from Easter Road. Hibs against Ghent. That one is very finely balanced. That game kicks off at 8 o'clock. So Stephen Thompson, Andy Halliday and Tom English alongside me in the studio. Andy, what have you made of that first half performance from Rangers?
I mean, I said the first half at Ibrox was as poor a 45 minutes as I've watched. I arguably could top it. I mean, Rangers were dreadful. Jablonec went much better. They certainly look more threatening than Rangers do going forward, but the game's just so bitty. I don't know if it's anything to do with the weather, the pitch, but there's no intensity, no pace, no quality within the game whatsoever. I think Rangers have defended okay at times. I think, you know, McCann and Fernandes for the most part have looked fairly comfortable, but they've had a moment in them. And I think Rangers in possession, no, I just don't even, I can't see what they're trying to do. I don't see how a chance is going to come. Is it going to be built through the thirds? Is it going to be a cross into the box? Is it going to be a late run? But off the ball, I think they've been okay for the most part, but they're still stuck in between this man-for-man press when they're high up the pitch. And then as soon as they're breached with a pass that beats their midfield, they're still kind of stuck in a man-for-man scenario, and that's where Jablonec's chances have came from. I think the Jawo, who's had the best chance of the half, no doubt about it. If you watch it back, I think it's a perfect example of it. But in possession, I mean, it's just so poor.
Can you see what they're trying to do here, Steve? I mean, if someone said to you, how is this Rangers team right now playing under Derek McInnes, what on earth would you say?
Well, it's difficult because they're kind of stuck in a position here. It'd be different if they were 1-0 down and the game was at Ibrox and they're having to attack and you're looking at, them being expansive. It looks like they're trying to contain and almost sit in against Jablonec, and because they've got their own issues in terms of lack of quality, then they're kind of getting away with it. But I agree with Andy, it's when they're on the ball, the lack of ideas or options, and because they've dropped into such a deep position with so many bodies behind the ball, which isn't really all that necessary because the opposition aren't that good. They're not going to rip you apart, really. When they do break forward, they have such limited options. And I feel for Naderi because, like you said, about 4 touches of the ball, all kind of longer passes up to him. Chikwani's trying to get up close to him. He can't really. But when Rangers win the ball back, let's say in their own final third, there's no real vision of how they're going to get out of there to get up the pitch in a fashion that's actually going to get them bodies forward. So it's just when they do give the ball away, ultimately it leads to another turnover and Jablonec are coming again.
I'm thinking, Tom, for Rangers fans tuned in tonight, for Rangers fans who've watched these games this season, a bit of hope in the cup tie against St Mirren. The game last week, albeit they weren't good at all, but they won the game at home against this mob at Ibrox. But I just think, see, for the bigger picture stuff for Rangers fans right now, they must be really concerned. 'Cause I can't see too many positives right now, can you?
Well, not in that performance. It was dire. It was slow. It was ponderous. It was wasteful. I mean, how many consecutive passes did they string together? 4, 5, maybe. They messed up 2 throw-ins.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, it's like this is. I was going to say second-rate stuff from both of them. It's not even as high as that. It's third-rate football. Jablonec are a poor side, but they're pushing Rangers back, and they're not really threatening. But the possession for Jablonec must be quite high. They haven't done a whole lot with it because they're not very good.
Yeah,
Rangers,
58%.
Was it?
Yeah.
58?
Yeah.
I thought it might be higher, but they're not good enough to do much with it
No.
on the evidence of that first half. But I don't know what Rangers are good at. If you were to tell me what under Derek McInnes, what are they good at? And I couldn't give you an answer. And on the basis of that, they're not good at anything because they're messing up with throw-ins. They're giving the ball away. They're not threatening. They look like a dreadful side.
Andy, probably more directed to you as opposed to Tom, just in terms of the positions that you played in the park, and given yourself as a midfielder. Do you feel in a game like this there's anything you can do on the park to change the flow of the game?
Well, it was interesting because I was thinking when Ali was talking about Chikwani's involvement in the game so far, and there's no doubt whatsoever he's been loose in certain scenarios, he's gave away the ball, but everything just seems a fight. I mean, everything for a Rangers midfield perspective just seems like a fight. It never seems as if you're getting the ball in a pocket of space to turn and play forward and have options when you're on the ball. Everything just looks a struggle, whether it's building for the back, whether it's in the final third to try and have some chance creation. The team just look devoid of ideas for me when they're in possession. I've said it a few times. I just don't know how a Rangers chance is going to come about. It just seems as if it's going to rely on a mistake for the opposition or a moment of individual brilliance by Gassama or Yokota to create a chance. Now, that's probably where they've had some joy over recent games, but Gassama and Yokota have been a non-event tonight. They've not been on the ball whatsoever in that first half. And I felt the exact same at Ibrox last week, and there was a major improvement in the first 15-20 minutes in the second half, and that all came down to energy. That's all it was just energy and enthusiasm in the game. Now, I've no doubt whatsoever that that's going to be something that Derek McInnes is going to want more of in the second half. But because, I mean, that first half, that for me looked like walking football, watching it.
You're right, it was so flat, so passive
at all.
Just hold fire for 1 second, guys, because unfortunately there has been an early goal out in Germany there for us. Jane Lewis.
Yeah, this uphill battle from a Motherwell point of view just gets even steeper, I think, because Freiburg have just scored, after inside 6 minutes, and it was really, really easy for them, all too easy. A lovely through ball. Motherwell defence tried to clear the danger, but they only played the ball to Derry Sherland, who was racing through anyway. He was clean through with the goalkeeper, and he did not miss from well inside the box. So yeah, a poor start from Motherwell point of view, a great one from Freiburg though. The lead here 1-0 on the night. That's now 4-1 on aggregate, of course.
Thanks to Jane. Jane was talking earlier on when she was doing the scene setting the team news for us, with the atmosphere out there, the colour, the noise. It sounds absolutely magnificent. A huge job for Motherwell. Now I think just to keep this one respectable tonight, they're up against a top quality side, no doubt at all about that. Tom, just to go back to what Andy was saying there about just how flat, how passive it's been, I was asking as a midfielder if you feel what you can do to change the flow of the game. You said earlier on how you feel from the dairy tonight. He's just getting nothing to feed off, and you've been in that situation.
I have, yeah, many a time, but usually it's when you're playing against the right good team.
That's a great point. Yep.
You know, and you're up there and your team's under the cosh and they're having to defend in numbers because of the quality, and you know you're feeling for your teammates because they're getting ripped. Rangers have dropped deep, and really, you know, there's not a real necessity for them to be as kind of safe as they're being in the game. So from a striker's point of view, basically in that situation, when the ball comes up, it's difficult. You've got to try and hold on to it. On occasions that could be for 3-4 seconds, which is a long time when you've got two centre halves biting your face off, and then try and find a wide man or an attacking midfielder. So it's a really difficult job for Derry, and any service in terms of opportunities for him, balls coming into the box. I've just been hopeful kind of swings. There's been one quality cross come in, and it's been from Penrice, and it was Chukwani who got the header, and it was a very difficult header for him. He got it in target, credit to him for that, but out with that, can you think of any other moments where Rangers have convinced you in an attacking sense that they're going to score a goal? And the problem, I think, is as much as this team are poor, if Rangers continue in this vein in the second half and the crowd know there's 10 minutes to go, if it stays like this, a chance is going to pop up. It always does. And then it's just up to whether Jablonec can take it or not. So, you know, Rangers for me should come out in this second half. I'd be tempted to make changes because whatever's happened there in the first half hasn't worked, and go and try and get that second goal. And you know, they're trying to defend a 1-0 lead here, which on normal occasions away from home, it's a kind of perilous thing to do.
I think we're all a little bit shocked at how lamentable the standard of football.
The thing is, I don't think I am.
Yeah.
No,
I am a little. Listen, I had very low expectations for Rangers based on last week, but I thought they'd win this game. I thought they'd probably maybe win it by a couple of goals. Not because I think a huge lot of the Rangers team, but I think Jablonec are poor. But that first half performance, it was a shocking performance. And as Thomas says, they almost like to defend their way through to the next phase of this competition. Like as if 1-0 will do. I mean, there's no coherence in what they're doing at all, and there's no threat, there's no energy, there's no tempo. Like, I mean, Derek McInnes might rouse them in the dressing room and they come out and they blow Jablonec away. That might happen, but
why did it take to get to half time?
Well, it shouldn't.
To see something.
But so what's wrong with them that they've come out and they've played like that?
Yeah, I mean, in the comments before the game, I'm paraphrasing here, but no, we don't want to just try and sit in and protect what we've got. We want to go and try and win the game.
That's exactly what they're doing.
I don't see where that. I don't see how. I don't see the enthusiasm or the intent to do so. It just seems like a very, mentioned the word about 2 or 3 times now, just a passive game of football. I think Rangers are really fortunate at this moment in time that Jablonec are the side that we thought they were last week, because they're poor as well. But one thing's for sure, they've had a couple more moments than Rangers have.
Jablonec one's a sitter.
Yeah, that's a guy's a great chance.
In commentary I said it as well, with the opportunity for Suchan when the ball comes across the front post. It's, if he just opens up and gets any contact at all with his left foot, he's troubling. It's a good opportunity for a goal. He's only 6 yards out, but he completely mishits it and ends up LBW off his right foot. So, two, I would say, very good opportunities. Again, against a better team, they're scoring.
I mean, they've spent a lot of money on this team. There's 6 new signings in this team tonight. Some of them cost a fair few quid. They've added Kim, obviously not playing tonight, 8.5 million. Looks like Kevin Kelsey is coming in as well, the striker, 9.5 million. I mean, how much money are they going to hurl at this project? I mean, Rangers fans are perfectly entitled to look at that and go, are we going to be watching this muck for the rest of the season?
But see for me, sorry Kenny, for me, I think it's more than just individuals. I don't think there's any doubt that Rangers need better players, but for me it's a team issue as well. We're talking about style here. Individuals will no doubt help, but I think the team style in general has to get better. It can't be as placid and as passive as we've watched over the last couple of weeks.
They're not even trying to do anything. Yeah. If they were trying and failing, but they don't seem to be trying to do anything.
Let me just briefly, Andy. He's made so many changes in the past few weeks. Derek McInnes to the side, a lot of half-time, etc. Has there been a formation that you've seen from Rangers under Derek McInnes you thought that's the way ahead?
I think they've looked slightly better in the midfield 3, and that's more because they've looked a lot as if they've got a lot better structure off the ball. I don't think it's been majorly better on the ball, but I thought when they played that 4-4-2 and they were consistently getting outnumbered in the middle of the pitch and they were really opening the transition moments, then I think they were struggling a lot. I think since they've went to a 3-man midfield over the last 2, 3, 4 games, I think they've looked a lot more solid in they type of areas. But again, I'm a believer that style is more important than a formation. If you've got basic principles of play, which could be any formation that you're playing in, I think ultimately that helps. Systems, formations, can change within a game. They can change game to game. But if you've got your basic principles of how you want to play, I think that's obviously more important. And at this moment in time, I just don't see what Rangers is.
Well, a huge second half coming up for Rangers. All the action to come right here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
The Saturday Show with Amy Irons and Stephen Mills.
Stephen doesn't know that one of our finalists is going to come through the curtains that we have here in the studio. Right. Would you like to meet Teddy?
I'd love to meet Teddy, yes.
Come on in.
No way. Right,
Tell our listeners what's happening right now.
Okay, there is a Shetland pony in front of me. Hiya, Teddy. How's it going? Not a Shetland pony.
An American miniature horse. Can Teddy give Stephen a cuddle or something?
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things on the radio.
Listen to The Saturday Show.
I'm not sure how Teddy's feeling about this. How you doing, pal? You okay?
Saturday at 9 a.m. on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
Stay with us on sports and plenty more to come for you this evening, including full commentary from Easter Road and 8 o'clock kick-off there. It was a 5 o'clock start out in the Czech Republic. Rangers have work to do, but they are still in control of this tie as things stand. So Jablonec against Rangers for a place in the Conference League with Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks, Kenny. Back underway with Rangers making 3 changes at the interval. Hardly surprising. Lauren Shanklin, Connor Barron and Finlay Curtis come on for Dan Neil, Daisuke Yokota and Jiri Gusama. So you'd expect that to be a change of formation as well. Shanklin and Naderi look like they are the front 2. And we'll see how else it changes in the midfield. But Jablonec trying to come forward in the right-hand side. Suchan fouled by Chukwani, who I must admit is quite surprised that he has survived the half-time cull. But Jablonec get a free kick early on in this second period in a good position, right on the right touchline, basically a couple of yards in from it perhaps, but only about 25 yards from the goal line. So chance to put Rangers under pressure in the early stages of this second half. It's going to be taken here by Nabila by the looks of it, although Slama has come across to the right hand side as well, but it is Nabila who swings it into the box and the header is half blocked and Rangers get it clear, and then the offside flag eventually goes up in any case. But Tomo, what do you make of the 3 half-time changes?
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Gassama make way. Clearly in that first half, didn't do enough. The other side the same with Yokota. Dan Neil again, still trying to work out what it is, that his attribute is in the team. So I think bringing Lawrence Shankland onto the pitch certainly should give you more options in attack. I talked about how isolated Naderi was, so having Shankland there with him should help in terms of getting Rangers up the pitch, and I think that's the key thing. They weren't up the pitch anywhere near enough in that first half.
Here they are coming forward just now. Macanya's ball to Penrice, couldn't find him, and Jablonec's pick up. Shankland trying to put the pressure on Suchan there, who's no stranger to going over pretty easily, but Shankland probably was just putting him under a little bit too much pressure there. So no changes for the home side for the moment, but 3 at half-time for Rangers, with Barron, Shankland and Curtis coming on, and Neil, Yokota and Gassama making way. It looks like they're kind of going to a bit of a back three, but Penrice is shuffling back now, but he's definitely been asked to play higher up the park in this second half. Throw into Jablonec over on the far side. Down the left it comes, and it's a sliding challenge coming in there to knock it out of play from Connor Barron, who's making just his second appearance of the season. Looks like he might yet be on his way out of the club, but drafted in at half-time as Fernandez slices the ball behind for a corner kick to Jablonec, and despite the half-time changes, the flow of the game seems to be pretty similar thus far. 48.5 played, still 0-0, but Jablonec on the front foot and looking to get the goal that would bring them level in the tie. They've taken it short. It goes back to Chanarishvili, then back out to the left-hand side, thrown to the back post. Suchan with a shot is just saved by Pandur. There was an outstretched leg there from Fernandez, which, if he'd made any contact, could quite easily have taken it beyond Pandur. But eventually it went all the way through. Pandur able to make the save as Dragajevic loses out in the middle of the park. And here they come again. It's Polydar for Chanarishvili, and now Suchan, who had that volley just a minute ago. He swings it into the box this time, headed away by Sterling, and he's taken a push in the back, and it will be a free kick to Rangers inside their own penalty area. But yet again, Stephen Thompson, Rangers living dangerously.
Yeah, it was a well played corner kick from Jablonec. Slammer with a short one, getting it back, and then floats it to the back post. Suchan, it was a poor contact, you've got to say, but I'd be more concerned about how free he was when he took the volley on. It kind of trundled towards Pandur and goal, and he kind of half spilled it. And you're right, if anybody was there to pounce on it, he'd have been in trouble, but luckily for him, he was able to get back on it.
Still 0-0 then. Yeah, my colleague Callum McDonald here, who's producing things here, has pointed out that it looks like basically Penrice and Curtis are playing as wing backs with that back three of Sterling, Fernandez and Macanya for the second half, with Barron, Chukwani and Dragajevic still in midfield as the ball comes off Dragajevic and out for a throw in over on the far side. Rangers got a lot of improving to do to try and ensure they make their way into the Conference League stage, just as Hearts did yesterday. The ball forward here from Dragajevic for Naderi. Can he pick out Shankland? Blocked there. Good challenge by the captain as it breaks now for Curtis into the box. Tries to get it back into the middle, and it comes off Pavlovic, and that's a bit better for Rangers. They've won themselves a corner and an opportunity here, but already you see a little bit more support for Naderi there with Shankland in close quarters, and it was good defending in the end to block his effort, and then they followed that up by keeping out Curtis's cross as well. But there will be a corner to Rangers here on the right hand side. 51 minutes on the clock, and Penrice and Barron both over on the far side. The Rangers right, Penrice looking to swing this in, you would imagine, left-footed. The referee though wants a word with Chukwani and his marker to say you need to cut that out, whatever they're up to in the 6-yard box, before Rangers can take this corner kick. Looks like Penrice will be the man to take it. Barron's come away from the situation, so it'll be Penrice left-footed, swings it in to the 6-yard box. Good header away from Sedidla, comes to Curtis, helps it back out to Penrice right-hand side. One touch and then swings it in near post. Not a good delivery on that occasion, and Jablonec able to clear and then try and build a counter, and they might have a man through the middle here. They do. It's Carrieri's-Philly. Rangers trying to get back. Curtis makes the challenge, and it's wide of goal as he hurried to take his effort, and now the offside flag goes up, and Rangers will have the free kick. But my goodness, there's no way he should have been offside, and Rangers so exposed at the back, Stephen.
Yeah, completely. Just a couple of passes, a counter-attack, split them wide open, and he's played through the middle. It looked a very tight one to me, but again, in a one-on-one situation, completely and utterly missing the target. I mean, you could have driven a bus through there. It looks very, very tight. And I'm not even sure if he would have been off, but because he missed it, will not need a VAR intervention. He really should be doing better. But Rangers, again, living so dangerously there. That's the biggest chances in the match, without a shadow of a doubt, have fallen to Jablonec.
Yeah, absolutely. As Macania just gives it straight back to the opposition. Rangers have been profligate in possession all night. 53 played here. Jablonec 0, Rangers 0. Rangers leading by a goal to 0 in the tie. Motherwell, we hear, have got a goal back in the tie, which is terrific news for them. 1-1 on the night against Freiburg. 4-2 on aggregate. They trail as Rangers come forward on the right-hand side, looking to try and get a goal of their own. You do feel that a goal for Rangers would probably be enough, given what we've seen in front of goal from Jablonec. But they haven't really tested Jan Hanush in the home goal at all. And again, they've given the ball away out for a throw-in over on the far side. Shanklin and Curtis failing to link up, and Rangers continue to disappoint in this match. So we'll get across to hear from Jane Lewis in Freiburg just next time the ball goes out of play here in Jablonec. It's Macania on the halfway line, trying to come forward between a couple of players. Managed to do that. Then he goes beyond the third man. Sedidla couldn't get there. It's Macania with a good run, almost at the byline now. Gets it back onto the right foot. Tries to take on Sedidla again into the near post. Naderi couldn't turn it in. It's behind for a corner. Let's get to Jane Lewis quickly, please.
Yeah, Motherwell have pulled a goal back in this one. It's now Freiburg 1, Motherwell 1. The goal came from Emmanuel Longo. He raced through in from inside his own half, absolutely teared it towards the goal. He had a shot from just outside the area. It looked like his shot was actually saved by the goalkeeper, Mio Backhouse, but then somehow he just let the ball slip through his own hands. It's an absolute embarrassment for him. But Motherwell will take it all day long because they're back in this tie. It's 1-0, 4-2 in aggregate.
Thanks, Jane. Penrice corner and Shanklin header well wide, so he didn't miss anything here. But yeah, at least Rangers getting themselves up the park. Stephen, you feel that the change of shape is helping them do that?
Yeah, I think it has. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But ultimately, the best chance in this second half, and we're only 10 minutes virtually into it, is falling to Jablonec. I think having Lawrence up there and alongside Naderi's definitely given Rangers better out balls and given them more opportunity to get up the pitch and kind of play almost in Jablonec's half, which was few and far occasions between in the first half.
Here's Macania, who made that good run down the left just a moment ago, almost created an opportunity for Naderi. As Shanklin and Naderi again failed to stay on the same wavelength, and Shanklin's attempted pass for him just goes out of play for a throw in here down on the near side. Midway inside the Jablonec half. We've played just over 55 minutes here. 0-0 on the night, 1-0 Rangers on aggregate, but they have been living dangerously, the visitors, at times, as Carrieri's-Philly picks up and gets it to Sedlacek. He feeds it down the right, comes off the head of Macania, and out of play for a Jablonec throw-in as they come forward on the right-hand side, looking for a leveller in the tie. Sedidla will come up and take a long one here, you would imagine. Looks like that's what he's lining up, although the short options available to him, and that's what he takes to Sedlacek. Back to Sedidla. This time he goes back to his captain, Takieski. And Rangers can't clear as the ball's played forward. Might be an opportunity here for Polydar, but again, you can't get the ball out of his feet, and Rangers manage to dig it out. Barron looking for Curtis there. Now Nadiri picks up. Curtis continues his run right hand side. Nadiri feeds it forward, but too much in the pass, and out for a throw-in over on that far touchline. Jablonec get the ball moving quickly. They are the team with most urgent need to get on the score sheet. A 0-0, of course, would do Rangers, but might be pretty nervy as Sterling with a huge shove in the back there of Polydar. I've no idea why he's given the referee a decision to make there. In the end, the referee didn't give it, but nonetheless, Jablonec pick up here once more. Chanarishvili from the right-hand side. Pandur comes and takes. It's a good take from the keeper. Took the pressure right off his back line. A couple of players stayed down there, Sterling and Polydar, I reckon it is. But it will be just a stoppage here as the referee checks on them. 57.5 played, Stephen, and if you were a gambling man, you wouldn't be putting any money, I don't imagine, on Rangers progressing just at this stage.
Well, no, there's still a long way to go, and especially, I mentioned at half-time chatting with the guys, as the game goes on, you'll see Jablonec start to take more risks in terms of getting bodies forward, because they know they've got to score this goal. I think bringing Connor Barron into the midfield has injected a wee bit more energy. At least he's snapping into tackles and looking like he's hungry to try and get involved. I think that's something that they missed in the first half. The midfield weren't really involved in the game at all.
Still 0-0 then, just short of the hour mark. Penrice tries to play it forward right-footed, doesn't get great connection on it, but Shanklin lays it back for Dragicevic, who can't get it back to Shanklin. It's all been so untidy, it's untrue for Rangers in this game so far. But there's Chukwani for Penrice. Back to Chukwani, left-hand side, turns back into trouble, and he's given it away. Javo's won it from him, and now he'll come forward down the right-hand side. He's got support on his right. He goes for goal, and Macania makes the block. It's going to come back, and then the shot's well off target from Suchan. It's still 0-0, but Tello Asgar is going to come on. Derek McInnes has already seen enough in this second half to suggest that he's not happy with the way things are going. But who's that's going to come off? It's Dragicevic.
Is it Dragicevic?
Well, it's an excellent suggestion, I would have thought, but no, it's Dragicevic, who, to be fair, hasn't been all that much better. Asgar comes on, and for the last half hour, he will try and inspire some cutting edge, really, you're looking for in Rangers play. As the goal kick is taken. Up to Shanklin, lays it back for Curtis, forward now for Nadiri. Good challenge in the edge of the box by Sedidla, who had to get that spot on, and he did. The Rangers fans were hopeful they might get a penalty there, but it looked like a really good challenge right on the edge of the box as Nadiri tried to make inroads. Ball's now played forward at the other end, and it had gone out for a throw-in over on the far side. So Asgar on for Dragicevic, as Rangers seek a better blend in the middle of the park. Here's Barron, 10 yards inside his own half. 0-0 as the hour mark ticks around. Macania now out to the left-hand side for Penrice. Helps it down that left flank for Asgar. It wasn't a great ball. Asgar slips and can't really make much of it. And again, Jablonec come forward. Poked into the midfield for Suchan. And back out to the left-hand side as they build once more, the home side, looking for a goal that would bring them level in the tie. Out to Chanarishvili, back into the Rangers penalty. Chukwani can't get it fully clear. Curtis battling away there to try and help him out, and then Asgar gets a touch to take it half clear. But work back out to Chanarishvili, and then Sedidla, who made that good challenge. Good ball into the box. Macania heads clear. Asgar's got time to bring it down and find Barron. Asgar again, almost turning into bother, but just touches it back for Penrice. Barron, Asgar again, taking too many touches there. He's claiming he was fouled. I don't think so. And here they come down that right-hand side, an opportunity to cut it back, and Chukwani's there on the penalty spot to knock it away. Rangers living dangerously here as the ball comes back into the penalty area, flicked onto the back post. Jablonec still goalless in the game, but knocking on the door here in search of that levelling goal in the tie. The sun setting away over the mountains over on the far side. And at the moment, also setting on Jablonec's European hopes. But here they are inside the box, into the near post it comes. Takayeski trying to get it in, and Barron just there nods it behind for a corner kick. Rangers, despite the changes, Stephen, they're still toiling.
Yeah, I felt as though when they first came out at the start of the second half, things were improving, but I'd say the last 5 minutes it's been all Jablonec, and Rangers again, they cannot clear their lines, they cannot get the ball up the pitch, and when they do, it's generally not really sticking, and it's coming straight back. Asgard getting caught on it, Chukwani with poor clearances. So it's still not any prettier, unfortunately.
Sucham with the corner kick from the right hand side into the back post it comes. Sevilla trying to get there, but knocked away out to the far side, and now Naderi will pick up just outside his own penalty area. Under pressure, just plays it forward to absolutely no one and just gives possession back to the home side, which is exactly what they want. And Sedlacek sends it back across to the left-hand side. Slama trying to get it forward, but blocked, and then Curtis is fouled, and Rangers will have a free kick as Jablonec go to the bench for the first time in the game. And they're about to bring on Juszek and Kramosta. And the players coming off will be Javo, who missed a glorious opportunity in the first half to put them in front. And also Polydar will be replaced by Kramosta. So double change for the home side as they seek the goal that would at this stage force extra time in the tie. 0-0 currently, and Rangers still leading 1-0 in the tie as they prepare to take a free kick here midway inside their own half at the back. Fernandez firing it forward, one for Shankland to chase down that right channel, trying to put Pavlovic under a bit of pressure. Gets it down the left wing though, but it's poor touch there, the substitute Rushek, giving it straight back to Curtis. He swings it in, Naderi throws himself at it but can't reach it, and it'll come all the way out to this near side where Chanarishvili gets it back to his defender, and it's easy for Jablonec to get out, and now they'll come on the counter. Nabila in the middle of the park, caught though by good challenge, and Asgard can bring it forward, but an equally good challenge on him by Nabila as Rangers fight hard to win it back. It was Shankland and then Penrice, but Penrice puts it behind Shankland, and forward will come the home side once more. Fernandez with a header down to Barron and gets it back once more. Fernandez with a little step over and plays it out to this near side to Macanya. 64.5 minutes played. Jablonec 0, Rangers 0. Still 1-0 to Rangers in the tie, but it has not been comfortable viewing for the Rangers fans in attendance, or indeed those watching and listening around the world, whether it's here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. It's been a tense night. Remember, Hibs in action later on. Motherwell currently at 1 apiece, and 4-2 down to Freiburg on aggregate. Both Hibs are trying to get through. Well, Barron just assuming that the free kick was going to be given against them there, I think, rather than chasing the ball. 65 on the clock, and Jablonec have the free kick, and the tide has certainly not been turned by those changes that Rangers have made, Stephen.
No, but you know, you just get the feeling, you know, I know Jablonec have had 2 one-on-ones, one was offside, but as much as they've had the ball in Rangers' final third, I think their own personal lack of quality within the team means that, you know, Rangers might just see this out, you know, despite it being a below par performance, you know, against a better side, you'd be thinking they're definitely going to score. I'm looking at it now, 25 to go normal time, and I'm thinking, are this team going to score?
Well, that's the question as they try and build down the left-hand side here. It might just be their blunt strike force that saves Rangers, because it certainly hasn't been the quality of the visiting side on this occasion. You'd have to say that's going to see them through the tie. Here is Sididla coming forward from right back. Shankland just goes to cover across. Derek McInnes looking pretty anxious there down at the edge of his technical area. It's played back to Slama. Into the box it comes, and well, Rušek was trying to get there and get on the end of it. He might have got a glance to it, but couldn't force it on target. And it remains, after 66.5 minutes, Jablonec 0, Rangers 0. Goal kick for Rangers as Pandur prepares to take. Looking at another clean sheet, a second in succession, and that would definitely see Rangers through to the league stage, joining Hearts after that magnificent performance last night. Askar, can he take a bit of pressure off Rangers by helping them get a goal? Out to Curtis, it goes right hand side, step over and then swings it into the back post. Looks too heavy, and Nadiri will have to come out to this near side and chase it to keep it in. He does that, but sends it back, and Chukwani slips. And now they'll come forward. Suchan finding Rušek, and Derek McInnes is absolutely dismayed by what he's seen out there. His body language tells you that, as Rušek feeds it forward down the right hand side. Suchan will give chase again. Across comes Barron and knocks it out of play. But I mean, Stephen, I don't know if you're seeing any shots of Derek McInnes down there, but I mean, his body language tells you that he's absolutely furious with his players, seeming inability to string a couple of passes together.
Oh, no wonder he's furious. I mean, he's tried to change at half time. He's hooked 3 players, changed the formation, and he's still seen similar patterns from his players in terms of on the ball. It's been so disappointing from Rangers' point of view. Simple basics of the game: possession, keeping the ball, finding a teammate with fairly easy passes, and it's just been so slack.
Just beyond the midway point in the second half, Jablonec 0, Rangers 0, as they prepare to take a corner to the home side. Slama on this right flank with the left foot will try and bring about the opening goal of the night all the way through to the far side, and that should just drift behind, I think, for a goal kick to Rangers, and they can breathe a little easier again. But as Stephen's saying, I mean, it's been so disjointed, no real sign of any fluency in Rangers play, any quality of any great degree, regardless of the personnel and the formation out there. And it could be a nervy final 21 minutes or thereabouts. Still 0-0 though on the night. Rangers leading by a goal to 0 on aggregate, as Macania just guides the ball back to his goalkeeper. 69 on the clock. No goals here in North Czechia, as Pandur goes long up towards Nadiri, but he's beaten in the jump by Pavlovic. But Curtis will pick up and find Asgard, drops his shoulder and moves to his right. Does so again, waiting for another bit of movement from a teammate. Not that much on offer, and he has to go back the way to Barron. Barron now swivels and turns and then plays it back to Asgard. Midway inside the Jablonec half. It's a low ball in. Both Shankland and Nadiri tried to make the same dummy, and the ball just falls to Jablonec's player. Penrice then makes the foul, and it will be a free kick in this near side, and it continues to look pretty poor from a Rangers point of view, other than the fact that they're ahead on the score sheet in terms of the aggregate scoreline. Here's Chanarishvili once more, the Georgian winger, back to Sididla. Comes in field just about 10 yards inside Rangers half, out to the left hand side for Pavlovic, who'll begin to advance. Then he swings it into the box. Pandur should take that one under no pressure, and he does. And again, Rangers can try and get up the park, but I mean, really, Hanush in the home goal really could have had his feet up for most of the night, for all the difficulty he's had in dealing with Rangers attacks. Just one save I can remember from the Chukwani header, and even that was a fairly routine one. As Shankland plays it back to Fernandes, midway inside his own half. Now Asgar, who at least is offering a bit of movement and options for his players behind him, as Pandur collects once more and then plays it out to Sterling, right hand side, into the feet of Curtis and back to Sterling. Sterling just at the edge of his own box, back to Pandur, and then Rangers play it out here to the left hand side. Macania's got plenty of room to gallop forward here up to the halfway line. Now Chanarishvili comes out to meet him, plays it out to his left to Penrice, back to Macania, and Rangers close down, and then the choice of pass for McCann was a poor one. Penrice claiming it took a touch on its way out, but I don't think it did. And Jablonec get the throw in, but again, McCann had so much room to move into, and then he gets to a certain point and just has to put the brakes on, and the passing breaks down. 71.5 played, 0-0 on the night. 1-0 Rangers on aggregate in this Conference League playoff second leg. Forward from Sedidla. Suchan can't bring it under control. And Rangers guide it back to the goalkeeper once again. Pandur plays it out to the right-hand side for Sterling. Sterling into Curtis. Curtis for Asgar with his back to goal. Midway still inside his own half. Sterling then tries to dig out a pass. And again, Derek McInnes hits his head in his hands because it's been given away. Curtis gets it back and lobs it over the halfway line. Breaks for Shankland just inside his own half. Feeds it forward for Naderi to run in the channel. Pavlovic likely to get there first, but actually Naderi got in front of him, but then fell to the ground. The referee said there wasn't enough contact for that to be a foul, and Pavlovic able to clear and find a man pretty easily on that left-hand side. Kramosta picks up and feeds it into Rušek, able to turn, and bodies piling forward for the home side in search of the equalising goal in the tie. Out to the right-hand side for Chinarishvili, teasing ball into the box. Fernandez climbs, comes back out to Chinarishvili on the right, tries to take on his man. Big chance here, goal! A deserved breakthrough for Jablonec. Chinarishvili turns Penrice inside out before blasting beyond the goalkeeper. Jablonec have levelled things up in the tie. It's Jablonec 1, Rangers 0, 1 each on aggregate.
Well, you've got to say it's excellent play from Chantarishvili, as you rightly point out. Chops inside Penrice brilliantly and hits a low shot. I don't know whether it took a nick on its way in, but you could have sensed it was coming. And I said at half-time, you know, the game will keep going if Rangers are still 0-0. This team will start piling players forward. They'll get an opportunity, and they have taken it, and you can't say it's not deserved. You know, they've been the team probing, looking for a goal. What do Rangers do now is the big question.
Well, the celebrations from the home fans here as Chanarishvili fires them in front. This is his first goal. Well, second goal of the season, actually, and what a big one that could be for Jablonec. So at the moment with 16 to play, this is heading for extra time. Rangers, can they begin to lift their performance and get a goal that might yet see them through? But it's the opposition coming forward here through Kramosta down the left-hand side, well challenged by Fernandez, who trying to spark a bit of life into Rangers, feeds it forward but can't link with Shankland. And Jablonec win it back once more. Quarter of an hour remaining here. Jablonec at last have the breakthrough that their dominance in the game tonight is deserved, and have levelled things up in the tie. Fine finish from Chinarishvili. You've got to question Penrice, who just kind of bought the initial feint from Chinarishvili, and that let him turn back inside to lash it beyond the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. It might well have been a touch on the way through, but I think it was heading there anyway. And well, the home fans have got a massive lift from that as Fernandez tries to bring it forward, clips it out now to Asgar just inside Jablonec's half, comes back the way again to McCann. Barron comes to look for it inside the centre circle. Curtis tries to give him an option. Chukwani's just standing, really not looking particularly as if he wants a pass. Comes out to Penrice in the end. Now it comes to Chukwani, left hand side, back to Barron. Infield it goes to Asgar, just outside the centre circle, out to the right hand side to Sterling. Sterling on the halfway line, back into Fernandez. Rangers looking for a goal that might book their place in the league stage alongside Hearts, and we hope Hibs will join them as well. Live coverage of that coming up from Easter Road just after this game, as Shankland has it midway inside the Jablonec half. Out to Curtis it goes, into Chukwani, right hand side, spins, clips it into the middle. Tough ball for Nadiri to get anywhere near, and he can't do so, and it's not cleared by Teki Yaski as Jablonec prepare to make another change here. I'm going to bring on Philip Zorvan. In fact, a double change by the looks of it as Rangers try and work the ball into the box, but again they fail to do so. Edward Sobol is the other player who's about to come on. Macania at the back for Rangers to Fernandes. He's closed down and he'll just roll it back to his goalkeeper. 76.5 minutes played. 1-0 Jablonec lead. 1 each on aggregate. And are we facing extra time just as Celtic and Hearts have already this week? Here's Conor Barron though, bursting forward and trying to do something about it, but the pass isn't good enough for Shankland. And although he's chasing back, the quality has to be better. He's actually won it back though, Conor Barron, from the captain Tekiyaski. Then he's failed to hold on to it, and they're able to clear up down that left-hand side. Challenge comes in from Sterling, then sliding in with Shankland. Out to Barron, swings it in, looking for Naderi's. Good defending from the full-back there. Sedila got a crucial header, comes out to Penright's left-hand side. Rangers looking to get themselves back in front in the tie. Back to Chukwani it comes. Nedeljkovic is going to come on for the closing stages here as Chukwani has it. Boos from the home fans as Rangers continue in possession. 12.5 minutes left of the game. 1 apiece on aggregate. Here's Fernandes on the halfway line. Into the feet of Shankland and then back to Fernandes. Rangers do need a goal now. They don't want to give Jablonec any more encouragement. It's Penrice on the left-hand side, into the feet of Asgard. Now, can he provide a touch of brilliance here? He's certainly got it within him, but he comes back the way instead to Macania, and he goes back to Fernandes. He'll be closed down, plays into Chukwani, who manages to just dummy Suchan and move away from him, and gives Rangers a man over just for a moment or two. Here's Sterling out to the right-hand side to Curtis. Curtis looking to try and get a cross in here, away from Slammer. It's too much on that cross again from Curtis, so it's going to bounce all the way out for a throw-in on this near side as the substitutions now will happen, and Nedeljkovic is going to come on right now as well, as those couple of changes for the home side, with Slammer being replaced by Sobol and Suchan replaced by Zorvan. And just waiting to see who's going to come off here for Rangers, and the answer is Ryan Naderi. So that's an interesting change. So Rangers changing things round once again as Nedeljkovic comes on for his second appearance since his move from Aston Villa. We've got just over 10 minutes left here. Jablonec leading by a goal to 0 on the night as it breaks back through to the goalkeeper Hanush, who's had so little to do in that home goal. Jablonec in possession here. Derek McInnes trying to get some instructions on as Jablonec continue in possession. The goal scorer just knocks it back to captain Tekiyaski, and then Pavlovic out to the far side. 10 minutes for either of these sides to take their opportunity and clinch the victory in the playoff and book themselves a place in the Conference League. Fed forward there by Zorvan, out to the right hand side. Low ball in there, as well taken at the near post. Chanturishvili, the goal scorer, firing it in, but Pandur able to gather and immediately bowling it out here for Nedeljkovic to burst over the halfway line. He leaves it now to Curtis. Curtis goes back the way to Sterling, and then Curtis picks up once more into Barron. Barron at the edge of the box for Asgard. Asgard now, can he find a room for the shot onto the right foot? He tries to do so, it's semi-blocked and behind for a corner. 9 minutes to play, and it's still Jablonec 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, Rangers in these last 2-3 minutes have actually started to kind of, not, I wouldn't say quite come to life, but tried to get up the pitch a bit more. I think suddenly dawned on them that, you know, they could be helping out of Europe here. So they've started to up the tempo a wee bit without really, again, creating too much. Naderi going off, and obviously Nedeljukovic coming on, and Curtis moving slightly inside the pitch. But a corner kick here, and they've got weapons here in terms of height. So
here it comes in, yeah, but it's comfortably taken by the goalkeeper, unfortunately. So that good chance comes to nothing. And it's bowled out to the left-hand side for Chanarishvili, who comes into the Rangers half, well challenged though by Curtis, who gets back and wins possession and pokes it forward, and Asgard now out to the right-hand side. Rangers trying to get bodies forward here. Penrice in an advanced position, now helped by Nedeljukovic. The ball into the box is well defended though by Nabila, and now out on the far side for a throw, and we'll get another update from Jane in Freiburg just shortly. But Penrice has fed it into the box, away by Sedlacek, and Rangers will go and retrieve through Fernandez. 8 remaining here in Jablonec in the north of the Czech Republic, and Jablonec looking to secure their place if they can find another goal. But Rangers, of course, hoping that they can join Hearts in that league stage of the conference. Here's Barron feeding it forward. Straight balls easily cut out though by Pavlovic, and goes back the way to Sobol, who's now in left back for the home side. Picked up by Tekiyaski into Rushek, and then back once more to Chanarishvili, the man who has levelled the tie on aggregate. Jablonec just knocking the ball about at the back currently. Quite content with the way the game has gone for them, and they will feel, even if it does go to extra time, that they will be the favourites here on their home ground. Zorvan feeds it forward. Pandur's unsure whether to come or not. He doesn't, and then the ball comes to Kramosta. Can't cut it back in time for a teammate, and Pandur able to gather in, and he rolls it out here for Rangers to try and come forward. Once again, it's Curtis, as Stephen says, playing slightly more infield. Now Nedeljukovic joining in from the right-hand side, plays it into Asgard, midway inside the Jablonec half. Chukwani now out to the left-hand side to Penrice at the edge of the box. Can he find room for a cross? It's half blocked and cleared away. And Jablonec able to get up the park, and again it's too easy for them to get out. Zorvan picks up, lifts the head, slides it forward. Down goes Kramosta, and he's given a free kick against Fernandez there. Looked like he went down pretty easily. Let's hear from Jane Lewis in Freiburg.
Yes, half-time here, Al, and it's 1 goal apiece. It was Freiburg who got off to the perfect start. Derry Sherhans with the opening goal after just 5 minutes. It was a great ball, through ball to him. Jake Goodwood Wright tried to get his foot to the ball to try and snuff out the effort, but all he could do really was play the ball into the path of Sherhanser, who finished off well. Freiburg piled on the pressure after that. Alex Poulsen did really well to tip a shot over the bar, and they kept piling on the pressure. But Motherwell were growing into the game. They had a brilliant free kick. Alex Lowry put in a brilliant delivery across the face of goal that went over the head of Masmanisi and Jamie Knight-Lavelle. He was offside as he tried to get to the shot. Freiburg then, as I say, piled on the pressure, but there was good interception, good defending from Ewan Wilson after that, and then Motherwell got a goal that, as I say, they probably deserved as they were growing into the game. Emmanuel Longello raced through using all his strength, all his pace, all his power from inside his own half, and he raced through, took a shot on goal outside the box. It looked for all the world that the goalkeeper, Mio Bacchus, had saved the goal, but then gave the ball, but then all of a sudden it just seemed to trickle through his hands. So Motherwell were back on level terms. But after that, and as half-time approached, well, Freiburg had a couple of really good chances. Yukota Sukuti's shot was well saved by Poulsen just before half-time. And then just minutes after that, they had another shot from Syriac, who cracked the shots off the bar. So Motherwell level on this one, a bit under the cautious half-time approach, but they'll take plenty of positives from that first half showing. It's 1-1 on aggregate here, on the night here, it's 4-2 on aggregate.
Thanks, Jane. 4 minutes left here in Jablonec. Jablonec 1, Rangers 0, 1 apiece on aggregate. We are heading for extra time as things stand, unless either of these sides can find a late goal. Incidentally, while Jane was giving you the half-time round up there, there was another change made by the home side. with Nelson Okeke coming on for the captain, Teki Yaski. It's 4 left then, and Jablonec in possession on the halfway line, looking to secure a monumental victory over their more illustrious opponents, but certainly not better opponents, you would have to say, on the evidence of tonight. As Pandur gathers a ball forward, and Rangers, they've really offered so little, and I can only imagine Derek McInnes is hugely disappointed by another below par display from his side. As the ball's back with Pandur. 3 minutes left on the clock, plus any added on time as Fernandes brings it forward. Can Rangers somehow find, for the first time really, that cutting edge and find a way to test Hanush in the goal? As Shankland picks up on the halfway line, he can feed it out to, there's an option to play it to Nedojukovic there. He tried to feed it instead for Curtis. It was a far harder pass and he couldn't get it to him, but it's knocked out on the far side for a Rangers throw, and quickly taken to Curtis. Midway inside Jablonec's half, plays it into the feet of Asgard, back the way to Connor Barron. Barron, a little bounce pass from Chukwane, and then plays it into Fernandes. Everyone inside the Jablonec's half right now, apart from Ivor Pandur. Forward it goes down the left hand side to Penrice. Penrice forced back the way though, plays it off Rushek, and the throw-in goes Rangers' way. A couple of minutes left on the clock of the original 90. Fernandes demanding someone makes a move for him and doesn't see any pass it's on, so he has to go short to Barron. Barron out to the right hand side for Sterling. Rangers looking for an equalising goal in the night and a winner in the tie. The ball forward for Curtis has got too much on it, and out comes Jan Hanush, dives upon that and thwarts any thoughts Rangers have had of trying to make him work particularly hard, and then just bowls it out at the back. As Jablonec look like they're going to take this game to extra time, leading by 1-0 in the night. It's all square in the tie. Over on the far side, Jablonec trying to come forward through Sobol, and I think he was fouled there. It's going to be a free kick to the home side, just a few yards inside their own half. We approach the final minute of the game here. Out to the right hand side it comes to Chanarishvili, whose goal looks like taking it to extra time, unless the Jablonec maybe feel that they can breach this Rangers rear guard once again. Into the feet of Okeke there, and then back the way it'll go to Hanush. Looks like Jablonec are pretty happy to take this to the extra 30 minutes, but then they've gone long over the top. That should go all the way through to Pandur. It does. Pandur gathers, rolls it out, waiting for the fourth official to signal whether there's going to be any. I imagine there'll be 2 or 3 minutes at the end of this second half as Fernandes feeds it forward to Barron. It's a tough ball to bring under control, and he couldn't do so, but Rangers have won it back only momentarily as Curtis goes to ground, and he's really fortunate, I think, to get a free kick there. I thought he just threw himself down, having lost the ball, but he does get the free kick, and Rangers get a chance here to get the ball forward, although they don't look like they're doing it with any great urgency, as the fourth official comes to the touchline to show us the board. Fernandes is going to take this free kick just at the edge of the centre circle, taking his time, and then he clips it in. Again, it's aimless and it's headed away by Chanarishvili. We've got 3 minutes of added on time and they're just starting now. The ball's gone out of play here on this near side. I'm not sure it actually had, but the assistant says it had. So we're into those 3 minutes now. Rangers getting the ball moving quickly. Barron gets it back to Fernandes. Fernandes turns and eyes up his options. Goes long, looking for Shankland over the top. There's too much on it. Fernandes looks to the heavens and Hanush gathers easily. And again, a Rangers move breaks down. Jablonec pick up possession once more. Okeke has it, midway inside his own half. Zorvan now, his fellow substitute, brings Chanarishvili into play down the right-hand side. Surely Rangers aren't going to lose another one in regulation time and exit this competition and exit Europe altogether for the first time since 2018 when they had the ignominy of going out to Progress Niederkorn of Luxembourg. They could be in here almost. Macania just stabs it behind for a corner kick to Jablonec in injury time, and they will have a chance here to try and find that winning goal in the tie. They're level in the tie currently. They're ahead 1-0 on the night. And the Rangers fans away to our left on tenterhooks. The Jablonec supporters looking for one of the biggest results in their history if they can get a second goal here from the corner kick, right hand side. It's going to be taken by Schobel with the left foot. Plenty of bodies in the box to aim for. Flights it in towards the far post. Macania though read that one all the way and heads it clear. It'll be gathered by Chanarishvili on the halfway line. We've played almost 2 minutes of the 3 to be added on. That ball's fed forward aimlessly by Chanarishvili straight to Pandur, who'll thump it long looking for Shankland. Shankland brings it down with a slip there from a defender. Still it's Shankland, and he's penalised for pulling. And Jablonec wanted to take that quickly, but the referees pulled it back. They'll need to take it again. We've got a minute left of injury time, but it looks very much like this one is going all the way to extra time. Jablonec, okay, he's gone for a goal from some distance, and it's just gone over the crossbar. Okeke was a good 10 yards inside his own half, and he had Pandur scrambling there. But fortunately for Rangers, that audacious attempt flies just over the top, and it remains with just seconds left. Jablonec 1, Rangers 0.
It was
1-1 on aggregate.
Very ambitious from Okeke there. In his own half, spots Pandur off his line. It wasn't a bad connection, it was on target as well, but just floated a good metre or so over the bar. Looks like we're heading to extra time.
I think technically that means it wasn't on target, Stephen, but who am I to
It was
nitpick?
in between the posts, Alistair.
I see what you mean. Anyway, here come Rangers down the right hand side, possibly a last chance of regulation time, flighted all the way over the top, and Penrice can't keep it in, and that will be that. So the 90 plus minutes are over here, and we are heading for extra time. Jablonec with a 1-goal victory within 90 plus minutes, and the goal came with Chanarishvili from 73 minutes, turning James Penrice inside out before firing past Ivor Pandur to make it 1-0, and 1 apiece in the tie, and that means it will be extra time here in the Czech Republic.
Rangers in the Conference League playoff round.
What a strike that is! Live on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. It's a busy old night. We have 2 commentaries for you, plus regular updates from Motherwell's game in Germany. It's just an 8 o'clock start at Easter Road. Hibs against Belgian side Ghent. We'll cross there shortly. We'll bring you the team news. We'll hear from David Gray. We've had regular updates from Jane Lewis, 1 apiece at half-time out there for Motherwell in Germany. Stephen Thompson, Andy Halliday and Tom English alongside me as we await, Andy, the start of extra time. I just need you to be as brutally honest as you can be here. I've watched you watch this game right now. How bad has this Rangers performance been?
One of the worst I've seen for me in Europe. Absolutely dreadful. Jablonec, for me, I think are a poor side, but they played with a bit more belief, a bit more energy, so that coincides with carrying a bit more of a threat. But I said at half-time, for me, it's not a personnel issue, it's a style issue, and I didn't think change of shape or change of personnel was going to fix that, and I think I was proven correct in that second half. Three half-time changes, a change of shape. After 58 minutes, Asgard comes on for Dagievich, change of shape. Then the 78th minute, and Naderi comes on, change of shape. But the fact of the matter is the performance stayed the same. I mean, we talked about a Chukwani header after, 15 minutes? And I mean, we really bigged that chance up. That wasn't even a chance. And that is all we have had to talk about for Rangers the full game. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they were shot in the second half. I don't even know if they had a penalty box entry in the second half where they looked as if there was going to be any threat whatsoever. And I mean, listen, my predictions have been terrible. I can't see Rangers scoring a goal in extra time. So for me, this could only potentially go one way, and that's penalties or worse.
I mean, Tom, well summed up by Andy. It's just been truly awful. We can see the pictures now. Derek McInnes got his players there trying to get them G'd up, trying to get something out of these players. But the truth of it is, a lot of this lies on the shoulders of Derek McInnes. As Andy's saying, he's made changes. They've not worked.
Absolutely. And it's the type of performance from a team. It's that makes you wonder, does Derek McInnes know what he's doing? Is he out of his depth? Harsh words.
Yep.
But you'd have to have that debate after watching that 90 minutes, which was just dreadful. I mean, again, that's 11 substitutions I think he's made this season on the half time. I find it hard to put into words how lamentable that performance was.
Right, let's hope it gets a whole lot better. Let's hope it's a whole lot better for Hibs tonight at Easter Road. A huge game for them against Belgian side Ghent. Scott Allen is there alongside our match commentator, Liam McLeod. Good evening to you, Liam. You can bring us the team news.
What a night this could be here in Leith. The supporters will be coming in any moment now. The Hibs team shows 2 changes from last week's first leg that finished goalless. Of course, Owen Elding failing with that penalty. He, as expected, has not made it tonight. He's not in the squad at all. Boyle comes in for him, and Jamie McGrath makes a return for Josh Campbell. So it's Salinger in goal, Paslak, Kerr, O'Hara and Mayer, Mulligan, Chaiwa, Obita, with Boyle and McGrath either side of Lowe. That is the starting 11 for Hibs, and what could be a seismic night here in the capital.
Fantastic. Big night there, as Liam said. We'll hear plenty more from him, and Scott Allen, of course. We'll also hear from David Gray. Jane Lewis will bring us regular updates in that game. It's one apiece still out there in Germany. Freiburg against Motherwell. We can see the Jablonec players there in a huddle just ahead of this extra time. Stephen Thompson, just final thoughts from you. It has to be a whole lot better from Rangers. As Andy says, there's only going to be one outcome here.
Yeah, but can you see that happening? I mean, Andy points out the changes that have already been made in terms of personnel and in terms of shape. Derek's had a word with them there for a couple of minutes, and is that going to be enough to inspire a performance out of them here going into extra time? And with Andy, I wasn't overly convinced that Jablonec would score because of their lack of quality, but they did. Can I see Rangers scoring? Not really. So I'd be amazed if this didn't go to pens.
It's got to be a whole lot better.
Yeah, I mean, we talked pre-match whether this getting into the Conference League mattered or not to Rangers. It matters now.
Yeah, it's a big extra time period ahead for Derek McInnes and his players. Back to Al.
Thanks, Kenny. Thilo Asgard about to get us back underway. No further changes at the start of extra time. Remember, both sides get one additional substitution that they can make, but Rangers not rolling that particular dice yet, as Fernandez sends it back to Ivor Pandur at the edge of his box. Wonder what those words of wisdom that were being imparted by Derek McInnes at half-time were. I mean, I go back to the comment that he made, that he reiterated pre-match about wanting to go out and win this game and not sit in, and there has not been one shred of evidence that his players took that on board. It's been quite incredible to watch Rangers outclassed by the 5th place team in last season's Czech League. That's exactly what's happened. Rangers in possession here, looking to try and find a precious goal. Shankland at the edge of the box, pokes it out to Nedeljkovic towards the back post. In comes Curtis with a header, but it's 2 or 3 yards wide, but at least it's signed of Rangers. So a bit of an attacking intent at the start of extra time, but it's still Jablonec 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it's another effort and goal, which they've been few and far between during the match. It's a rare effort and goal. This time a header from Finlay Curtis. Again, it was a difficult one for him to take. He couldn't really direct it on target, kind of under pressure, trying to kind of force the ball towards the goal, but really it was never going to threaten. And it's in the Jablonec net.
Yeah, as Stephen said pre-match, Rangers have lost their last 7 in a row away from home in Europe. Since one each draw with Panathinaikos back at the start of last season. It's a pretty dreadful record, and it looks like it's going to be added to tonight, certainly within 90 minutes. It was added to, but let's hope Rangers can at least get the one goal that would level things up on the night and take them through on aggregate to slightly improve that record and take them into the league stage of the conference. As Barron has it, back to Fernandez, about 10 yards inside his own half. Back the way he goes to Pandur, who's been beaten on one occasion tonight. A good finish by Chanarishvili after a good bit of skill. Fernandez comes up to the halfway line, then checks back once more in the face of Nabila, and then rolls it back to Pandur, who finds Macania, and now Barron. Barron into the feet of Curtis here, gets on the turn and now tries to bring Rangers forward. Challenge there by Okeke. Referee says that was fine, and Jablonec pick up as Kramosta rolls it back into the midfield, midway inside their own half. Beautiful sunset here, if that's any consolation to the Rangers fans listening. as Sedlacek plays it square to Sedidla, and then further out to the right-hand side to Chanarishvili. Back with Sedidla once again into Pavlovic. Now Sedlacek takes over once more, just inside his own half, rolls it to Sedidla. He's playing a more central area since his captain made way just before the end of full time. Here's Chanarishvili once again out to the left-hand side for Zorvan. Zorvan up against Asgard, goes back the way to Pavlovic, and then back out to the left-hand side to Zorvan. Little ball into the middle for Sedlacek once again. Rangers can't get near the ball just at the moment as Rušek rolls it back to Sedidla. Feeds it forward for Kramosta, who's made the run down the right-hand side. Penrice with him, but again, Jablonec are able to keep possession pretty comfortably. They look tidy at the moment. Can they find the second goal that might well take them through? It's played forward by Sobol down the left-hand side. Okeke, who looks like an athletic figure since coming on, into Zorban. Their changes seem to have provided that little bit of energy required. And out to the right-hand side again, it goes to Chanarishvili. Fed into Sedidla. Tries to squeeze it through, but nothing doing for them. And Chukwani will pick up left-hand side. He stayed down in the middle of the park. Nabila, the home fans want the ball put out of play, but there's absolutely no way Rangers should be doing that at this stage. Here's Nedeljkovic, right-hand side in advancing position. Sterling's outside of him. Nedeljkovic sends it in towards the back post. Way too much on that for Asgard to get there, and it's thumped clear, but only then as far as Penrice, who picks up. Nadila's back on his feet and trying to get back involved in the action, but Barron steps forward to the edge of the box for Shankland, who typically you would see Shankland holding that ball in and laying it off to a teammate, but for whatever reason in that Rangers jersey he's not been able to produce that kind of performance, and he just lost out in the battle of strength so easily, and the ball is back with the home side. 5 minutes into extra time here. Still Rangers trail on the night and are level on aggregate as Kramosta tries to get forward. Good challenge though by Macania, and then he pokes it away from the on-rushing forward, but out it comes here to Sobol, then into Okeke's good feet actually as well. He moves away from Shankland and Barron and finds Zorban in the midfield. Challenged by Asgard, but Zorban keeps it. Out to the right-hand side to Chanarishvili. His pass forward is cut out by Penrice, and then Asgard brings it under control. Holds off Zorban midway inside his own half, then tries to feed it forward for Curtis. Looks like there's too much on that. And after 5.5 minutes of extra time, still Jablonec 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, no real indication, Al, that anything's going to change in this opening 5 minutes of extra time. Again, you know, when Rangers are in possession of the ball, they cannot keep it. They cannot look like they're going to be opening Jablonec up with any real quality. A lot of the passing's hopeful, and then it usually and pretty much predictably breaks down.
Here's Okeke coming forward for Jablonec. Plays it infield here to Rušek, who goes for goal, and that's not too far wide. He really got a hold of that. Maybe it ended up a little bit further wide than I initially anticipated, but when he left it his right boot, I thought that might have been troubling Pandur, but it didn't in the end. 6.5 gone. But that was a decent chance, or a decent effort, at least, Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, have you got your glasses on?
Sunglasses.
All right. No, it was about 5 metres past, but he picks it up in space, probably about 32 yards out, but drags it. Maybe a look closer from where you were.
Yeah, probably time I took my sunglasses off and put my normal ones back on.
Good,
the sun has
thinking.
now dipped beyond the mountains, away in the distance, up towards the Polish border. But to be honest, the backdrop's probably been the best thing from a commentary perspective in this game, because the spectacle in front of me has not been a pleasing watch from a Scottish point of view by any stretch of the imagination. Chanarishvili now finding Zorban. He tries to thread it through, and he almost found Rušek there, but it was just cut out in time as Rangers pick up through Curtis, who just turns and goes back the way to Penrice, and on the edge of his box now it's Macania. Macania bringing it forward. We've played about half of the first half of extra time. Still Jablonec leading by a goal to 0 on the night, 1 apiece on aggregate. It has been a lot harder work than it perhaps should have been for Rangers, as Fernandes again just asks his forward players, where's the movement, Who wants it? Goes back to Pandur instead. Then out to Penrice. Barron back to McCanya. Fernandez asks for it, and then he's got a bit of space that he can move into. Now can he try and create something? He's bounding forward still, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Out to the right-hand side for Nedeljukovic. He turns back infield. Can he find a cross? Nedeljukovic, good skill. Clips it to the back post. Good take from the keeper. He was backpedaling under a bit of pressure there, but he grasped it well. And it remains Jablonec 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it was good skill from Nedeljukovic on the right-hand side, twisting out and in again at the cross, just too close to the goalkeeper. Lawrence had made a back post run deep, but it was never going to go over the goal lane. In the end, a comfortable take from him.
Jablonec in possession just outside their own penalty area. Looking forward to commentary of Hibs Ghent later on as Hibs try to emulate their city rivals in reaching the league stage. Phenomenal achievement for Hearts last night with 10 men, and even after losing that last gasp equaliser, to have the bottle to go and finish it on penalties. Tremendous work from the Tynecastle men. Can Rangers also show a bit of character here and win this one in extra time? It's Barron on the ball into Shankland, rolls it back to Fernandez on the halfway line. 9 minutes played in extra time. Here's Finlay Curtis just outside the penalty area, looks for the short pass to Nedeljukovic, who just tries to clip it on but can't link with a teammate, and all the way through to the goalkeeper. Again, Rangers move breaking down before they can get a shot on target. I think, as Andy pointed out, I don't think they had a shot at all in the second half, which is pretty woeful statistics. Here's Okeke for Jablonec, out to the left-hand side for Sobol. Back to Pavlovic, just about 15 yards inside his own half, plays it square for Sedidla, and then out to the right-hand side for Chanarishvili. He's operating now at right back, having played kind of right wing earlier in the game. Chukwani won possession there, and there's going to be a yellow card, I think, for Rushek for bringing him down. I thought Chukwani might have been able to stay on his feet there, but he's actually stayed down even longer, and the yellow card shown to Rushek for pulling him to the ground. And Rangers will have the free kick on the halfway line. Derek McInnes trying to geese players up, urge them forward, but it seems like nothing he's said so far has really done that. Barron picks up possession, moves forward, and then plays it out to the left-hand side for Penrice. Penrice into the feet of Curtis now. Curtis, can he be the one to spark Rangers into life? Back to Chukwani, square for Fernandez. Fernandez just turns away from Sedlacek, plays it square for Barron. Barron midway inside the Czech half, holds on to the ball and then gives it to Chukwani, and just nudges it back to Barron once again for Sterling. Rangers can't keep a hold of the ball, then down goes the master, and they'll get the free kick just inside their own half. 11 minutes gone in this extra time, and still it's Jablonec 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate.
Hard to see where a goal is going to come from for either side, really. And you often see this when games go into extra time. Both probably just settling for it now, but it becomes a bit of a lottery when you get to the old penalty kicks. Rangers will be wanting to try and find a goal, as will Jablonec before this extra time's out.
Would have thought so. Here's Sedlacek. Motherwell have gone down to 10 men. Still one apiece in that game, 4-2 on aggregate to Freiburg, but Motherwell reduced to 10 men just as Hearts were last night. Jablonec's in possession here. 3 minutes left in the opening period of extra time. Jablonec, well, they haven't really been pushing Rangers back as much as they were during the game itself. Opening 90, but there's a ball to the back post that's swept away by Curtis as they began to look dangerous just for a minute there. Chanarishvili will pick up just about 15 yards inside the Rangers half. Okeke takes a worrying touch for him, but manages to get it to a teammate. Sedlacek now up towards the edge of the penalty area, into the feet there of Subon, and right across goal, and that was an opportunity. I'm not sure if that was meant to be a shot at goal or otherwise, so they're claiming it should have been a corner kick, I think, but I personally didn't see the touch, but Jablonec are convinced the referee clearly didn't see it either. But another heart and mouth moment there for Rangers, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as close as maybe it looked. You kind of flashed that across the. I think it was more a cross than anything else. Yeah, there was a deflection. Without a doubt, there was a deflection. So the right to, I think it comes off Manny Fernandez's knee and goes kind of harmless play behind. But the Jablonec player's right. They should have had a corner kick.
Curtis penalised. There's been a goal in Freiburg. Jane Lewis.
Yeah, there's been a goal. There's also been a sending off, another sending off from Motherwell, just as happened in the first leg. They're down to 10 men. Jake Gore would reach a foul on Derry Shirthut. He brought him down just in the edge of the area. The free kick from that was brilliantly tipped over the bar. He was sent off for, of course, denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Resulting from that brilliantly saved free kick, obviously came a corner, which Freiburg scored from. A lovely ball, and Igor Matonovic goes really well and powered in a header to make it 2-1 on the night to Freiburg. That's 5-2 on aggregates.
Yeah, well, that seems like Motherwell, if they weren't already heading out, that's pretty much put the tin lid on it. It's all square here in the tie between Jablonec and Rangers in the final minute of the first half of extra time. 1-0 to Jablonec on the night as Rangers have it at the edge of their own penalty area. McCann out to the left-hand side to Penrice. Penrice feeds it forward, looking for Curtis, but he's asked an awful lot of him. Sedidla goes across there and just tidies up back to the goalkeeper. Hanushu gets it back to Sedidla as Curtis tried to close him down. Sedidla plays it back to his goalkeeper again. First time ball forward. Chukwani nods that back out to Curtis. He plays it on. It's a terrible ball from Curtis. And all the way through to the goalkeeper. And really, Rangers have had very few on that park who would get pass marks, I wouldn't imagine. Here's Okeke finding Zorvan. Again, it's so easy for them to find the passes. As that's a terrible challenge, actually, on Chukwani. That's going to be a yellow card, surely. Well, the referee's actually, I think he's contented himself with just blowing the half-time whistle. It looked to me like he was going to show a card, which he absolutely should have. That's a shocking challenge in the middle of the park. Anyway, half-time whistle is gone. No further major chances for either side. And so it remains with 15 minutes to play of extra time. Jablonec 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it's not been a whole lot better, has it, Andy Halliday? What have you made of that first period of extra time?
Yeah, not much to report on for both sides. Tomo said it in commentary. It's very much both sides almost scared to open up at this moment in time. Rangers have injected slightly more pace into it than they have over the 90 minutes, but the bar is extremely low, don't get me wrong. And I think the best chance of the half was that cross that got flashed in for the left-hand side for Jablonec. Ends up drifting a couple of yards by the post, but certainly did take a nick, so it should have been a corner kick. But yeah, like I said, I don't really see Rangers scoring. I think the best they can hope for at this moment in time is penalty kicks.
Yeah, I put it forward earlier on in the programme, Tom, just as a result of the Rangers fan that joined us last week. He wasn't fussed at all about whether they're getting to the Conference League. It's all about the league, the domestic games, he said. But you rightly pointed out that Derek McInnes needs this tonight, because we've used this word many times with various Rangers managers. It will get toxic. They've got Pittodrie at the weekend.
Yeah, it's toxic already, I can tell you that much. The whole idea that, it didn't matter whether Rangers got into the Conference League or not, I was extremely dubious about it. Because any time Rangers lose a match, there's pressure and there's a reaction. And tonight, the way they're playing like this, this is an abomination of a performance.
Yeah.
Derek McInnes, if he's not under pressure, and I don't know the inner workings of it, but how he can send a team out like that, it's so disorganised, with no fire in their belly, no coherence whatsoever. It's a shambles. Well, I'm really interested, no matter how it ends up, what he says after this, to explain this, because this is an absolute, it's embarrassing.
Well, we'll hear from him live on Sports, and I can tell there's been another goal out in Germany. Freiburg now 3-1 up on the night, 6-2 in aggregate against Motherwell. We knew it'd be tough for them. It's been very, very tough, perhaps tougher than we expected for Rangers this evening. It has gone to extra time. We're into the second period now. Back to Al.
Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, just back underway as Bojan Majowski comes on for Dujon Sterling in extra time. So Rangers made all their changes now. Ken Majowski, who seems to be pretty much the forgotten man at the club. I would imagine they would be happy enough to see a bid for him. But he's still here, and he's got an opportunity tonight to make himself a bit of a hero. There's not too many heroes in Rangers jerseys out there right now, that is for sure. And Jablonec, on the other hand, being the better side and lead on the night by 1 goal to 0 with the second half of extra time just underway. Ball's launched forward by Hanush and picked up by Rangers at the back. It's Fernandez. Just rolls it back to Pandur, plays it out to the left-hand side here for Penrice. Penrice down the left, looking for Shankland, who's made very little impact since coming on, beaten in the jump fairly easily. Derek McInnes claiming for a free kick, doesn't come. As Jablonec pick up once more, clipped out to the left-hand side. Out to Showball on that left flank, coming forward to try and find a second goal of the evening for the home side, which would send Rangers tumbling out of Europe for the first time in 8 years. They wouldn't be involved in European competition at all. There's Sedila playing a good ball into the box, and his shots just trickle wide. Well, that wasn't a bad effort at all from Kramosta as he got into the box and just took it on in the turn and sent it trundling wide a goal. Pandur wasn't getting there. 17 minutes played in extra time. Jablonec 1, Rangers 0.
That is very, very close, Al. You've got to say it was a very easy pass into the feet of Kramosta. He just kind of swiveled and hit it in one motion. He didn't catch it well. It kind of trundles and it goes a foot past Pandur's right-hand post at probably about 2 miles an hour, but it looked for a second as though it might creep in.
Here's Asgard getting turned midway inside the Jablonec half, out to the left-hand side for Penrice. Asgard continues his run down the left. Here he is picking up almost at the byline. Can he find a decent cross here? It's a deep one. Stretching there's Nedeljkovic, comes to Curtis inside the box, can't get the shot away. Okeke gets it clear before he can manage that. Rangers pick up once more. And Fernandez plays it back in field to Barron, out to the right-hand side. Here come Rangers once more, looking for the pass, a layoff for Nedeljkovic, can't get out his feet. Shankland, can he get a shot away? He can't, he's just ushered out of play there. Oh, it's just stayed in actually, but Rangers have lost possession, and then it's not behind for the goal kick to Jablonec. So just for a moment, Stephen, it looked like Rangers might have been in.
Yeah, there's a wee half sniff. It was good play by Majowski, flicking it into Shankland, round the corner, try to get it again, and it breaks to Lawrence Shankland. I felt as though he could have hit it first time. There were bodies in front of him, but he tries to just adjust it and take a wee touch to his right-hand side, by which time he's definitely getting closed down and the chance had gone.
So 1-0 Jablonec lead on the night, one apiece on aggregate as we head ever closer to penalty kicks here to decide this one. Rangers have it inside their own half. Fernandez forward to Curtis, who's fouled by Okeke. And Rangers get the free kick about 10 yards inside the visitors' half, who they're just about to make a change actually. Going to bring on Filip Novak. And he will replace Sebastian Bila, who's been operating in the heart of midfield. So Novak comes on for the final 11 minutes or thereabouts. Interested to see how if they change their setup there, because he's generally speaking a centre back or a left back, but Nabila centre midfielder as Barron swings the free kick into the back post. Fernandez wins it, nods it down, but no Rangers player can get there, and the referee has penalised Fernandez in the jump in any case, and the free kick goes the way of the home side, and Rangers continue to huff and puff and really not get very far, unfortunately. Almost 5 o'clock in this second period of extra time. A well below par performance from Derek McInnes' side, despite everything the manager has tried in terms of changing the personnel, changing the shape. Not once but 2 or 3 times. McCann forward onto the chest of Barron. He's on the stretch though and he can't keep it, and Sedlacek will try and feed it forward instead to Rušek, who will bring it under control here up against Penrice on the right hand side, and he'll roll it back to the goal scorer Cenarishvili. Tries to slip it through for Zorban, but in steps Penrice. He can't get it fully clear, but eventually Curtis is able to do that. Up to the halfway line it goes. Majowski can't get it, then it's picked up by Pavlovic, who runs forward, plays out to the left hand side. Showball checking back, and then down it goes Curtis, who did well to get himself in front of the man and between him and the ball, and he wins this side the free kick over on the far side. Rangers have taken it deep in their own half. 10 minutes to play of extra time, or else it'll be penalties to decide Rangers' fate. Ball back with Pandur just at the edge of his own penalty area. The home fans again trying to get behind their team. The Rangers fans away to our left cannot be enjoying this evening at all. Ball come off Shankland there. He's claiming it should have been a Rangers throw-in, but the referee and the officials think otherwise. Shankland getting himself very worked up about that, but I think that boils down to frustration. He's talked himself into a booking there, but I mean, it's a tiny thing, a throw-in, but it's all about the frustration he clearly feels at not being able to produce his own best and his performance of his team as well. So Jablonec have the throw-in on this near side. Cenarishvili back the way to Sedila. Majowski will go and try and close down. Back to the goalkeeper, Hanush, out to the left hand side for the latest substitute, Novak. Okeke picks up and finds in the midfield Sedlacek, who launches it over the top. On the chase there was Rušek, but he couldn't get there before Pandur, fortunately for Rangers. And after 22 minutes, it's as you were. Jablonec leading by a goal to nil, but still 1 each on aggregate. And penalties looking ever likelier as Macania plays it out to the left-hand side for Penrice. Back the way to Macania on the edge of his box. He plays it back and turn to Pandur. Back to Macania on the left-hand side of the area. Zorban trying to close him down. He gets it up to Shankland, whose layoff is, I mean, so bad. It's just given straight back to the opposition. Here they come down the right-hand side. Zorban finds Rušek at the edge of the box. He turns into trouble. He could have got the shot away. He's managed to keep possession. And it's Cenarishvili. He's gone for goal again, and he's well wide on this occasion. But Stephen, I just talked to you about Lawrence Shankland. I know you know him well. His performance tonight since coming on has been every bit as bad as anyone else in a Rangers jersey, but his touch is so poor.
Yeah, on that occasion it was a poor layoff, I've got to say that. But yeah, I mean, I don't, it's difficult to compare him with anybody else on the pitch in a blue shirt tonight, because literally everybody's touch has been pretty poor, and it's been a poor performance in general. So I'd love to single him out, Al, but yeah, I think clearly feeling the pressures of the weight of carrying the Rangers shirt, and not his best performance, but it's difficult to perform well when everyone round about you isn't performing either.
Yeah, Finlay Curtis at least there showing a bit of attacking drive and sending a shot just wide of the post. That's a handball by Asgard. It's been penalised on the halfway line. 24 minutes played in extra time. It is Jablonec 1, Rangers 0, 1 each on aggregate in this Conference League playoff second leg. And we're facing penalty kicks to decide whether Rangers will play in European competition this season or otherwise. And frankly, I'm not sure they deserve to, as Macania clears from the edge of his own area, but Sedlacek is first to it. Second ball's generally speaking being won by the home side. Sedlacek gets it back to Okeke. He's able to fire from distance, so that's almost as ambitious as his effort from inside his own half just before full time. That one is no nearer going in. In fact, probably further away from going in, thankfully for Rangers. 5 minutes to play here. Can Rangers summon something from within them to clinch the victory on the tie? As Barron goes down, he's fouled in the middle of the park, and Rangers will have the free kick. because Stephen says penalties is such a lottery. You really just don't know how it's going to go. As Barron has to retake the free kick, because Chukwani was trying to take it when it was moving. Penrice now on the halfway line, down the left-hand side for Asgar, up against Chanarishvili, turns inside him, tries to find either Shankland or Majowski, end up being in the middle of the two of them and finds neither. Trying to win it back from Chanarishvili, but the Jablonec managed to keep possession. Okeke turns away from Majowski and plays it out to the left-hand side for Novak. He plays it further to his left. And then picked up by Sedlacek once more, driving them forward. No one marking Sobol out on that far side. Now it's Zorban on the angle of the box, left-hand side. Back to Novak, and then Zorban once more, trying to build down the left. Novak's made a good run, almost at the byline. Touches it back once more. Sobol steps away from Curtis. Knocks it back to Zorban. Are they going to get it into the box? They are. It's Novak picking up. He goes for goal, and down goes Pandur to save it, his near post. And, well, certainly it's been Jablonec. So again, I've looked the likelihood if anyone was going to win it before penalties, Stephen, it looks like it's going to be the home side.
It was actually really good build-up play from Jablonec on that left-hand side. 4 or 5 wee triangles before the ball was clipped in really nicely, and just tried to hit it in the spin. He couldn't quite get his body in the right shape to get a good connection with the ball, but if Pandor hadn't managed to hold it, it certainly would have gone in the back of the net. It was on target.
Here comes Barron on the right-hand side. Nedeljakovic in support. Comes inside to Curtis. He spins away from his marker. Can he get the shot away? He tries to find Asgar instead, and he's robbed the possession by Chanarishvili, and Zorban will bring it away. And absolutely nothing that Rangers have tried tonight has come off as Chanarishvili picks up once more. He's under pressure. Shankland trying to snap into the challenge, but Sedidla manages to get it to his left before he can close him down. And Jablonec come forward once more. We've got 3 to play here, or else it's going to be penalties. Jablonec leading by a goal to 0 on the night, 1 each in the tie as Zorban tries to play it down the right hand side, comes off Asgar out for a throw in to the home side. The home manager Lubos Kozel is urging his side on from the edge of his technical area as got a throw in which Chanarishvili is desperately getting some fluids on while he's taking it, but he's been also told to get a move on. Throws it back to Pavlovic, who's hurried into a clearance with Majowski breathing down his neck. Picked up here then by Nedeljakovic, bursting over the halfway line. Back goes Kramosta with him. He leaves it to Curtis on that far side. 2 minutes for Rangers to find a life-saving goal that would take them into the league stage of this competition. Here's Asgar. Asgar looking ahead. Penrice is there, but still it's Asgar. Can't get away from the final challenge that comes in. Still he's got possession though. Swings it in towards the back post. Majowski goes for the spectacular. No way he was going to manage that in the crowded box. Breaks out to the halfway line for Macania. Macania for Chukwani. Out to Asgar once again on the left-hand side. Looking to get the ball back into the box. He's done that. The header comes in. It's over the top though from Shankland. It's a corner in the end. Must have taken a nick. But Rangers just in the final moments of this game, putting a little bit of pressure on, trying to find that goal that would break the hearts of most of those around about us. And frankly, wouldn't be all that deserved. But Rangers wouldn't care too much about that if it got them into the competition proper. It's Asgar here from the left-hand side with a corner kick. We're in the final minute of the 30. It's Asgar swinging it in back post. Looks too deep. Macania will go and try and chase it. Can he keep it in? Doesn't manage to do so. It's out for a throw-in on the far side. And Derek McInnes urging Telo Asgar to get back in. He's virtually ignoring his manager. Now he's trotting back in to the middle of the park as Rangers are facing a penalty shootout to get into the league stage here, trailing by a goal to 0 on the night. 1-1 in the tie. As poor a performance as you'll see in a long time in European football from a Scottish side, and particularly the expectations on Rangers. Throwing over on the far side. Not sure there's going to be any added on time here. The fourth official's not bothering with a board, so I suspect not. It goes back to Pandur. Seconds left. There's the final whistle, and it's going to be penalties here. Jablonec winning 1-0 on the night. Mirror image of the scoreline from Ibrox. Rangers failing to test Jan Hanush throughout the 120 minutes, and now they're going to have to beat him more often than Jablonec can beat Ivor Pandur in the Rangers goal from 12 yards out. It is on a knife edge here as Rangers face a European embarrassment. It finishes in Jablonec after 120 minutes. Jablonec 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate.
Rangers in the Conference League playoff round.
What a strike that is! Live on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Yes, as Al said, Rangers could be on the brink of a massive European embarrassment here earlier on. He referenced Progress Niederkorn. My goodness, that will bring back fear in among Rangers supporters, but it is every bit as bad this evening. Just a reminder what we've got to come at 8 o'clock. It kicks off at Easter Road. A huge night for Hibs against Belgian side Ghent. Goalless from the first leg. There's a full commentary to come from that. We've got the chief news earlier from Liam. We'll get back to the guys here. We'll hear from David Gray. Motherwell at the moment are 3-1 up. Sorry, 3-1 down, apologies, away to Freiburg. So 6-2 in aggregate, 81 minutes played out there in Germany. Jane is there for us. We'll try and bring you the reaction of Alfred Johansson later in the programme. Andy Halliday, Stephen Thompson, Tom English alongside me in the studio. It's a penalty shootout, Andy. I mean, if Rangers get through this, they don't deserve it. That's the reality, isn't it?
And I think it'll just mask what's been another dreadful performance. The only thing is I'm thinking that Hannes and the Jablonec goal need a warm-up before the penalty shootout, because he must be the coldest guy in the Czech Republic tonight, because he's had absolutely nothing to do for 120 minutes. And it's now down to the lottery of the penalty kicks, and like you say, Rangers won't deserve it if they go through, but they'll certainly take it. And all it's going to do is just ask question after question of what's been a poor start to the season, and no signs at this moment in time it get much better either.
It's been dreadful, hasn't it?
I mean, listen, we're running out of ways to say how bad it is. Mm-hmm. And people listening, and I think we're exaggerating it. We're not.
No.
Genuinely, this is a shockingly inept Rangers performance against a poor team. They're inept on the pitch, they're inept off the pitch. It's an inept coaching performance from Derek McInnes. It's an inept execution from his players. I have no idea what they're trying to do. No idea. From first whistle to last. Giving the ball away, no cohesion, no coherence whatsoever, no bravery on the ball, no energy, no pace, no edge, no attitude.
Tom, what about the people? I know you've got contacts at Rangers. What about the people who have put millions into this? And this is a return.
Well, the Rangers players who were on show tonight, they cost in or around in transfer fees 30 million. The ones that we've seen tonight.
Wow.
Now, there's wages Rangers paid very good wages, obviously. So it's multiple millions here for this. I mean, if I was Andrew Kavanagh, I'm looking at this, I'm going, hang on, we need to be better than this.
Yeah.
And they should be better than this. And they're changing, as the lads were saying, they're changing formation. The 3 substitutions at half time, again, changing formation after formation after formation. Lawrence Shankland is the captain. I mean, who's the leader of this team? Lawrence Shankland is the captain. Dan Neil is the captain. I mean, who the hell is leading this side, like?
There's certainly no one stepping up, Stephen, and I'm not talking about people's jobs here, but you just feel this penalty shootout could be crucial in terms of what's ahead in the coming weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be an important month, that's for sure, for Derek and for the rest of the players in the Rangers team. You're right, if Rangers go through here, do they really deserve to go through after that performance? But ultimately, if they manage to come through this penalty shootout, it'll buy a bit of time for Derek to get his new signings in and hopefully find a way to turn it round. But if they go out, then I'd get the tin hats on.
They are ready to go. Over to you, Alistair Lamont.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Just about ready. Looks like Lawrence Shankland's going to step up and take the first penalty. The referee just having a word with both goalkeepers. The penalties are going to be taken off to our right-hand side, which is the goal that doesn't have any fans behind it, which you would probably say is fairer, but it was done on a coin toss, so it wasn't just decided. So it would have been in front of the Rangers fans at the other end, but as it turns out, is going to be Shankland into the other end up against Jan Hanush. He scored from the penalty spot already this season, but can he get this crucial one in? The first penalty kick for Rangers. It's Shankland against Hanush, steps up, right-footed. Lawrence Shankland scores. Good penalty into his right-hand side. Good finish, Stephen.
I'll tell you when I see it, Al. Yeah, Lawrence stepping up as captain, first pen. Yeah, goalkeeper kind of makes a check, think he's going to go down the middle and just pops it to the keeper's left. Good penalty, good start.
Okay, we probably won't do that again, but if it's going to be such a delay, it'll probably be finished by the time you see the next one. It's going to be Antonin Rušek to step up with the first one for the home side. Pandur dancing on his line, looking to put the big striker off. Rušek prepares to step up, also right-footed. Rušek into the top corner, brilliant penalty. Top-class finish from him, absolutely nerveless finish. No chance any keeper was getting there. And Majowski now will make the walk forward from the halfway line to take the second penalty for Rangers. The home side, home fans try and put them off. Only about 4,000 of them inside here, but they're trying to make a din to put off the North Macedonian striker, who will step up left-footed here with Hanush bouncing on his line. It's Majowski, scores. Keeper gets the right way, but it was a good, well-struck penalty into the same bottom corner that Shankland found. And Hanush is left disappointed as he was beaten for a second time. And now up will step Richard Sedlacek to take the second one of the evening for the home side, looking to bring them back level in the shootout. Really impressive little midfielder, had a good game in both legs, and now how are his nerves as he steps up on this huge occasion for his side. This would be massive for Jablonec if they could get through into the group stage. Up he steps, right-footed, and scores as well. Really good finish once again. Similar area to Rušek as well, pretty close to the top corner. And well, just as they've been the better side, certainly on the evening, their penalties have been top class, as Tello Asgard now makes his way forward, Norwegian World Cup star. Well, he's had pressure on the biggest stage, but this is pressure as well, as he looks to try and put Rangers in front once again from the penalty spot. Stands over the ball, just takes 2 or 3 steps back. It's a short run up here for Asgard as he waits and strikes and scores. And goes the other way this time to his left, sends the keeper the wrong way. Rangers back in front in the shootout. It's 3-2. They lead as Filip Zorvan makes his way forward. One of the substitutes who came on during the game, and he will again try and bring the home side level in the shootout. Rangers have been flawless so far in the shootout. You couldn't say that about much of the rest of their performance. Can Zorvan bring them level once more? Again, Pandur bouncing from left to right and back again as Zorvan steps up, right-footed. Saved by the goalkeeper! Rangers have the edge in the shootout. Really good stop from the Croatian keeper, diving away to his right-hand side and keeping out Zorvan's effort, and that is the first mistake we've had, the first miss in the shootout. Pandur earning his corn as Finlay Curtis now steps up to the plate. The young man who's certainly got a bright future, but he's taking the responsibility. The 20-year-old will step up and hit this penalty, and if he can score this one, Rangers will really be in the driving seat. They lead by 3-2. This is their 4th penalty. Curtis takes a moment, steps up, right-footed. Finlay Curtis balloons it over the crossbar. It's a terrible penalty, and we're back to where we were almost. Both sides now have missed one. The young man who was big enough to get up there and take a penalty for his side has failed to hit the target. Bojan Majowski going to try and console him here as he makes his way back to the halfway line. But that is a bad moment for the young man. He's consoled by his teammates as Okeke now will try and square things up in the shootout. This is Jablonec's fourth penalty. Rangers have scored 3, they've scored 2 so far. It's going to be Okeke now. Right-footed as well, sends the keeper the wrong way and scores. And it's 3 apiece. And we've got 1 each left to take. And then we'll be heading to sudden death if they can't be separated by that stage, as James Penrice just in the door from Mike Athens. And he'll come up and try and again give Rangers the edge. It's 3-all. Got 1 penalty each left to take of the original 5. Penrice puts the ball on the spot. The boos ring round the stadium, as you can hear in the background. Left-footed Penrice takes a big deep breath, steps up. James Penrice, saved by the goalkeeper. Elation around about us as Rangers are on the precipice of another ignominious exit from European football. And it will be Jan Kramosta, the man who took the armband after Tekiyaski was substituted. And he'll take the responsibility with this final penalty. And if he can score, Rangers are out of Europe altogether for the first time since that embarrassment in Luxembourg. Is there embarrassment here to come in the Czech Republic? I don't think there's any way of disguising that that's what it would be. It's Kramosta against Pandur. Can Pandur produce some heroics here? Kramosta, up he comes and scores! Jablonec are through. The celebrations begin among the home fans, and rightly so, because ultimately they have deserved to go through. The Rangers fans and Rangers players in disbelief that they have turned in an absolutely dismal performance here tonight in the north of the Czech Republic, and they have got ultimately what they deserve. 2 missed penalties by Finlay Curtis and James Penrice have cost them. But really, the performances of all the players out there, and even in the first leg, it wasn't great. Finlay Curtis is clearly in tears out there, emotional. The young man having taken the responsibility and ballooning his penalty over the top of the crossbar. But it's a small element. It's not Finlay Curtis' fault that Rangers are out. It's a collective blame that will have to be attached, a collective responsibility that will have to be taken, because really, to a man, Rangers were poor, especially tonight, and having lost out in the Europa League qualifiers to Jagiellonia, they are out of the conference in the playoff stage at the hands of the 5th place team in the Czech League last season, Jablonec. And that means they are out of Europe altogether. There will be no European football at Ibrox this season. And looking across to my left, the Rangers fans are absolutely incandescent with rage. They are gesturing at the team, and they are clearly hugely unhappy. And you've got to understand that strength of feeling, the amount of money they spend coming away on these trips, and their team has produced a performance that is nowhere near the standard expected of them. Lawrence Shanklin is leading the players over towards those fans. They're applauding them, but they know they are going to get nothing of the sort in return. They go as far as the edge of the 18-yard box and then turn away and head back towards the tunnel, hanging their heads in shame, and rightly so, because tonight Rangers have exited Europe, losing on the night by 1-0 for a 1-all aggregate, and losing in the shootout by 4-3.
Rangers in the Conference League playoff round.
What a strike that is! Live on Sportside on BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, brilliant job from Al there, bringing his commentary there off that penalty shootout. He's absolutely right. These Rangers players should be hanging their heads in shame and absolute embarrassment there tonight. Really angry every Rangers fan who made a long trip out there. It cost an awful lot of money. Lots of Rangers fans messaging me. I couldn't possibly read out what they're saying, but they have had enough. This could not have gone any worse tonight for them, Andy Halliday. You called it at half-time. You couldn't see what they were trying to do. You were perplexed by some of the substitutions. Just, first of all, give us your reaction to what you've seen tonight. I know you've been taking notes of the substitutions, the multiple changes of shape. Just talk us through this experience that you've watched here tonight.
Well, off the top of my head, I think Kaunas, I think Progress Niederkorn, and I think tonight, I think that's up there with all of them. Said it last week, say it again tonight, even after the math, that Jablonec for me aren't a good side, but they were the better side tonight. At Rangers, no style, no movement, no desire, no tackles, no shots, no control. Offered absolutely nothing over the space of 120 minutes. And I said that the surprising fact is I'm not that shocked, given on what I've watched over the first, what's it been now, 5-6 games of the season. And I think there's been a lot of questions about the recruitment, and rightly so. I think there's been a lot of questions towards the players, and rightly so. But the questions are going to start coming Derek McInnes's way, because I think Rangers played 5 different formations tonight and made multiple changes of personnel to try and find their way back into the game, but just couldn't offer nothing. And Rangers never had a game at the weekend. They had a week to prepare for this game. I'm watching the game and I don't know how they've prepared. I don't know what they've prepared. Because I've said that I don't know how Rangers are going to score a goal. Anytime people are on the ball, there's a fair lack of options. Off the ball, they're obsessed with man for man, but they get played through far too easy. On the final third, they're devoid of ideas to create chances. And the fact of the matter is, as I said, that this for me is one of the worst performances and results in Rangers' recent memory. And in terms of level of performance, I don't see how it's getting better.
Tom, we will hear from Derek McInnes later in the programme. How on earth does he explain away the level of that performance?
I don't know. But I'll be intrigued to listen to him, to hear what he's got to say. Some humility, maybe, some embarrassment, probably some anger. I would hope he'd direct some of his anger at himself, quite honestly, as well as his players, because they all deserve a thermonuclear blast, and so does he, so do his coaches. I think there's something missing. There's obviously something missing there, and there's a lot of things missing there. The coaches that he has with him, are they good enough? Is he good enough? The players that they've signed, some of them for big money, a lot of them on big wages, are they good enough? So many questions. And I know it's early in the season, but I would have thought that Derek McInnes, given his experience, would have this Rangers team at least looking like a team. You saw what Hearts delivered last night. That's a collection of new players under a new manager. But by God, they look like a team.
Yeah.
You know, they look like a collective fighting for each other. And Rangers meandered their way through that game. No threat, no energy, no edge, no pride, no leaders. I mean, how could you spend so much money on so little? It's incredible.
They offered absolutely nothing this evening, Stephen. You got to feel for these Rangers fans that made the journey out there tonight, because they had absolutely nothing to feed off, nothing to buy into tonight.
No, one shot on target in 120 minutes, I think it was, in the game, which in itself tells a story about Rangers' threat. And, we've been saying it for I don't know how long. When the players are on the pitch and things aren't going well, like tonight clearly wasn't, and they look around themselves for somebody to grab them, to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, to lead, and there's no answers popping up. He took off Dan Neil, who was installed as the captain for this evening at half-time. He took off Jokita at half-time. And you can't blame him for these changes. And what you would say is, ultimately, I could see Derek's frustration watching the game on the sidelines. He couldn't believe what he was watching. And he tried numerous different things to try and bring a better level of performance out of the team, whether that was personnel, whether that was formation. But ultimately, it goes back to what Andy talked about earlier in the show. well, you need better quality for a start on the pitch. I still think they're short in quality, and you need the game plan in terms of you can set up a team to defend, and this team that they were playing against tonight, you know, they weren't great. So, like, ultimately, you're not going to be getting cut open every time they go forward.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you influence yourself on the match? And we didn't see it, and it didn't matter what he changed or how he tried to change it. We just didn't see Rangers grabbing any influence on this game. Now, I would hate to have a stab, I guess, at what the Jablonec players earn compared to what the Rangers players earn, and how much they've spent on their squad compared to what Rangers have spent.
The entire club's turnover, the most recent turnover, is 8.5 million.
Yeah, so that's equivalent. Probably
Rangers is 94.
Yeah.
Right, hold on, just for now. Let's get a full-time score. Let's get to the game out in Germany. Jane Lewis is there for us.
Yes, I have it finished. Freiburg 4, Motherwell 1, so 7-2 on aggregates over the two legs. 1-0 at half-time in this one, Kenny, after Emmanuel Longolo equalised after Derry Sherhunt had given Freiburg an early lead. But then into the second half, and that's when it all started to go wrong from a Motherwell point of view, when they were just to 10 men on 57 minutes. Jake Gerwood-Reich was sent off as he brought down Sherhunt, who was racing through on goal. From the resulting free kick just outside the area, that was well saved, but from that resulting corner, Igor Matanovic scored with a header. Freiburg then got their third of the night, also from a corner, headed in this time by Cyriac Iri, and then they grabbed their fourth to seal that comfortable win. Keisuke Goto with a lovely finish to seal that convincing 4-1 win to take them through 7-2 on aggregate. A chastening night for Motherwell. Their fans are still here and they're still singing and they're still chanting, but they are crashed out of Europe, have Motherwell. Freiburg, they march on. It finished 4-1 on the night, 7-2 on aggregate.
Good stuff.